Hello, welcome to High Rollers D&D. Sorry for starting a bit late today. We had to rearrange the room and get it all set up, but welcome. I am Mark Humes, your dungeon master for today. I'm doing it in a very weird voice because I know it makes Christopher laugh. Joining me, we have... Cut the cameras. There we go, Chris Trott.
You don't need to cue it.
Kim, I do. And then we have Tom Hazel and Rhiannon joining us. Just as a quick thing, Kate's taking a short break. She's going to be joining us soon, but she's just going to be off for a couple of weeks. So we're going to have Ayla step out. We'll do that in game. But just in case you're wondering where she is, send her a message, send her all the love, all that stuff. I think she's visiting family for a little bit. So she'll be back soon as Ayla. Cracking on with today's episode, because we've got a lot to go through. First of all, a big thank you to our two sponsors, Brilliant and D&D Beyond. D&D Beyond is the official Dungeons & Dragons digital product that you can use on iPad and in its website. It's got a character builder, it's got a compendium, you can get the brand new Dragon Heist module. It's available on D&D Beyond right now.
Say what?
Even better, if you'd like to get 25% off any digital
I know I
purchase,
would.
you can use the code HIGHROLLING to get 25% off any digital product.
20, that's a quarter.
That's a quarter, excluding the legendary bundle. But you could get it on the brand new Dragon Heist module, which has only just come out. Also coming out very soon is Dungeons of the Mad Mage.
That sounds fun.
Also, what is this?
Wow.
Delicious.
Class act.
Sponsored burp. Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica, what's that?
That is a combination. It's to do with Magic the Gathering. It's like a Magic the Gathering universe. You can get the Wayfinders Guide to Eberron. Loads of cool stuff there.
Yeah.
Check it out. We've been using D&D Beyond for a while now. I think everybody at the table would say it's actually super useful.
It's
really,
very
really
good.
cool.
I'm using it right
10
now.
out of
Very,
10
very
would
good.
recommend.
Now, our other sponsor is Brilliant. Brilliant is math and science done right. If you want to get help in developing your problem-solving skills, your mathematical abilities, if you want to learn how to, solve logic puzzles in your D&D campaigns, if you're a dungeon master who wants to, create more interesting and carefully created puzzles, then Brilliant is for you. They post up new puzzles all the time. There's courses that you can follow. It's a really, really cool service. You can go on there and get an annual subscription. Kim will have a little puzzle for us.
Trot will have a little puzzle for you because Kim's voice.
Let's do it nice and quickly today.
Brilliant.
Nice today's one of Aerois is a strange land, sky cities, barbaric lowlands, floating graveyards, mechanical statues, and now this rumour of a special island that follows some peculiar rules. Is that fast enough?
Slow it down a little bit, maybe.
On this island, everyone is either a dwarf or a durga. Durga? Durga? Dwarves always tell the truth, and durgas always lie. However, there is no way to tell who is a dwarf and who is a durga. Durga. Just by appearance, you have to listen to what they say. On visiting this island, you're approached by two residents. Upon questioning which one is a dwarf and which one is a durga, why does he keep saying it? Durger. The islanders reply with the following statements. Bjorn Bloodaxe says, Rise Ryson is a knave. Rise Ryson says,
Durga. Sorry.
Rise Ryson is a Durga. Carry on.
Yeah. The puzzle is knights and knaves.
Oh,
but
Durga.
I have reflavored it as
Right.
Durga.
Rise Ryson is a Durga, and Rise Ryson says neither of us is a Durga. Which one is which? Recall that dwarves always tell the truth and Durgas always lie. The correct answer will be told at the end of the episode.
Thanks, Chris Trott.
I'm not that dumb.
But also, if you want to go on Brilliant, you can actually check out the courses. Which course is this from, Kim? Do you remember?
Knights and knaves.
Knights and Knaves. You can check it out and it will tell you how to work out the calculations, all the steps involved to figure these kind of things out. Couple more things. Brand new merch. This is the new Aerois t-shirt that Rhiannon's wearing.
Nice.
You can check that out.
Wicked.
That's over on
I've got our old one on.
store.yogscast.com. You can check that out. Kim is modelling one of the new anniversary hoodies.
And the
Kim's
old-
also got the old shirt on. All of that's available on store.yogscast.com. We will be getting some super cool new metal Aerois dice and some tote bags. They're not on the store yet, but they're coming very soon. Keep an eye out for those. Don't forget we have Rogue's Gambit on Mondays. That's over on twitch.tv/wizards and twitch.tv/highrollersdnd. It starts at 6 p.m.
Twitch.tv/DND.
That's what I said.
You said
Wizards.
wizards.
Did I?
Yeah.
Twitch.tv/DND.
Nice.
Man, I'm really burpy.
What's
I
wrong
had
with
like
you?
20 chicken nuggets and I just had a
Oh
coke.
my god.
You can check that out. That's on Mondays. It starts at 6 p.m. UK time. We're playing through elements of the Dragon Heist module very much reskinned for this crazy bunch that are playing in it. It's very fun. It's a really funny series. It's going up on YouTube. It's a podcast.
Yep.
It's all in there.
Podcast on Fridays, YouTube on Tuesdays.
And when's the normal
Live on
podcast
Mondays.
out?
The normal podcast is out on Mondays and Thursdays. So if you aren't watching this now, then it's...
Welcome to the
Moving
podcast.
on. Don't forget, if you have Aerois or High Rollers art in general, it could be for Rogue's Gambit, it could be for Lightfall, it doesn't matter. If you got cool High Rollers fan art, send it to us at...
highrollersdnd@gmail.com, please.
And then we can include it in fan art videos. But if you email it to us, it's basically saying you are okay with us showing it on videos and stuff like that.
Yep.
That's it. Let's do a quick recap. No, do I do recap after the Aerois
recap.
video?
Hey.
For the podcast. See you in a bit. Intro.
Hello, welcome back. Let's do a recap of what happened on the last episode of Aerois, High Rollers, the D&D show.
Brilliant.
Sometimes I just don't know where I'm going until I start talking, and then I just awkwardly trail off.
Yeah.
As I just did.
No, it's...
The party, who are currently looking for a name for their mercenary band,
Oh, yeah.
find themselves popular in town when news of their newfound wealth gets out. After being approached by several groups, they decide to set up a charity to help the town in times of need. Sentry and Nova took Arvel to Torval Blackhammer, the priest of Palador, and got his leg healed, finally, fulfilling a promise, with Arvel promising to repay them once they can get back to Gold Throne. Nova asked the priest to teach her about a ritual for mending injuries, but Torval was uncertain as the ritual is knowledge given to him by his deity and through his training. He said he would think about it after a very successful attempt at persuasion. Lucius and Quill spent some time talking with Valor, a teenager that they met aboard the airship, who was being accompanied by two Siaska priests and priestesses. They asked Valor about her magical abilities and her past, revealing that she has little memory from before 4 or 5 years old, and has more magical power than perhaps they initially thought. Later that evening, Brett Brookstone, a patriarchal figure that the party have been warned against, visits them in the inn, the Brazen Heart, and invites the group to dinner to help dispel the nasty rumors about him and his business in the town. We pick up pretty much straight afterwards. I believe that you guys had had a rest, you'd gone to sleep, you'd woken up fresh in the morning. There is a note left for Nova, who was sharing her room with Ayla, which is a hastily written note on a scrap of paper, which basically just reads probably something along the lines of wasting a bit too much time, want to look into the wild elves, will come and find you guys.
See you.
When I'm done,
Does
basically.
she leave any gold for her room?
No.
Of course she doesn't.
No.
Of course she doesn't.
Can we pay in advance?
You paid in advance anyway,
Yeah.
actually, so it's fine. But yeah, so there's just like a little note which is basically in a very casual hand written to say, I'm gone. Bye.
Bye.
The morning is cold, quite dreary. The clouds are quite thick. The cold winter air blows through the town. But the inn itself is fairly warm and well insulated, so you awaken, cozy against the chill air. I believe Lucius is on a room on your own. Quill is in a solo room, but Sentry is just sat on a
Sat in
chair.
the corner, plugged in, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah, you guys wake up and you have until the evening, basically, if there's anything you want to do.
What time was it we were going to see the Brookstone boys?
He said evening, like 7 o'clock or something like that.
Very vague. Okay.
Well, they don't really have like, it's not like, oh, let me just check my phone. Oh, yeah, let's do it at 7, book it
Let's
into
put it in
Google
the
Calendar.
GCal.
I mean, I'm very observant, so I know exactly what time. That's not true. That's a lie. I've just told you a lie. I've just lied to you all.
Yep. But yeah, it's it's probably around 7 o'clock. You are expected for dinner.
Okay.
So if there is anything you wanted to do,
Around sundown.
but if there's nothing, we can just skip ahead to that. It's up to you.
I guess the only thing is checking in with Torval as to whether or not he's okay with teaching.
Yeah, you can do that if you want.
Can I talk to the group first, though?
Yeah.
I am not out of my room yet.
Okay. It's just a quick chat.
When you do, breakfast is included in the cost of your rooms. There is fresh
late was
baked bread. Huh?
How late?
You can get out when you want.
We get bed and breakfast.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
Lucius will have
It's
to be-
things like eggs, which obviously for Quill they're like, ugh. Freshly baked bread, grilled tomatoes, roasted potatoes, kind of like a morning potato kind of thing covered in herbs and salt. It's a simple but hearty affair.
Cool. Unless Lucius is woken up, he's going to lounge lazily in bed.
You probably earned it.
Yeah, you can get out when you want. So yeah, Nova, so far,
Earned.
it seems like it's just you downstairs, having risen early.
Oh, come on. Early bird.
I don't
Oh,
know.
okay, well, if you wanna
not
be up-
really- I don't think Nova's really a morning person.
Okay, all right, so
I feel like Quill and
Sentry are the
would
first
easily
ones
be
down.
downstairs
Okay.
real quick. Like, you wake up instantly.
Yeah, it's like, "Blip, okay.
Let's go.
Bolt out of the room.
Crashing.
Oh, one small thing to clarify. So last time we played, I mentioned there was a conversation with Nova about Tiangong absorbing the properties of a magic item. I mistakenly said Pact of the Blade. What I meant was Hexblade Warrior. It's effectively the same thing. It's a way that Nova can use magic weapons that the group finds without her having to lose the visual aesthetic of Tiangong.
Yep.
It's the same thing,
Because
basically.
I am Pact of the Tome.
Yes.
But I am also a Hexblade Warlock.
Yes, a little confusing, but it's the same thing. So you can basically spend time, and that's the point actually. Nova would have been able to do that over time. Do you do that?
That's what I wanted to talk to the group about.
Okay, all right, perfect.
Cool.
Well, so you two are having breakfast
We're
downstairs.
downstairs, yeah.
Great.
I'm just...
Just hot plate again.
Hot plate
essentially?
for me, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Just holding it.
holding it,
Yeah.
enjoying how it feels.
Nova. I mean, how late do you want it? Do you say you get?
Like mid-morning,
Like what time? Give me a rough time.
10:35.
Lucia's still asleep.
Still asleep.
Yep. Okay. Perfect. So.
He's awake, but he's like...
So the breakfast is mainly most
Turning.
people have already come and taken the breakfast, but there's still a
Mostly
few
turning.
things around.
Carry on.
Cool. Most of the breakfast is gone, but there's still
Is he
some there.
being lewd?
Probably. I didn't even think Lucius was able to be lewd, to be honest.
Here's Chris Trot.
It's Chris Trot.
Pure Chris Trot.
Pure filth. So Sentry and Nova are downstairs. Rosalina is probably cleaning along with Reld. I can't remember her name. It's in my document. It's in my document.
So cold.
I don't have that bit
These
printed.
NPCs, there's so many of them. I don't even
wanna-
name half of them. Whatever.
like that
I
one.
did
What's her
name
name
it, I just
again?
can't remember it.
I'm Mark.
Sorry, you have an entire world in your brain like I do.
Is that the half-burned...
Yeah, the half-elf girl with the burn on her face.
I reckon Rel is probably not a main character or an arch-villain.
Well, if they're that easy to
well,
forget.
could she be? Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to metagame it, but...
Right, I'm going to go downstairs.
Reld. I was right.
Hey.
The thing is, none of us knew because we never asked her name.
But yeah, they're going about cleaning the tavern. But they'll pay you no mind if you're obviously having a private conversation. They'll just stick to themselves. Cool.
Good morning, friends.
Hi, Nova.
Hi, how are you doing this morning? Quill, hey.
You look very happy.
Well, it's the morning. Another day. Another glorious day.
Oh, good, okay. No, it's
Winter wind.
how are you, Nova?
I'm fine. Ayla's gone.
What?
Mm.
What do you mean?
She left a note. She got bored. She left.
Bored?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to meet the Brookstone guys
Yeah.
without a big hammer?
I'm not entirely sure she was invited anyway.
Oh, that's true. I don't think. Well, okay, fine.
Didn't you
Yeah,
say,
she wasn't around when Brett invited you.
Didn't you say something as well about wild elves and Brookstones not getting on?
Good point. It's probably a good idea that she's not
Yeah.
there. Actually, I'm not sure how he feels about elves in general. Like maybe Lucius being there.
Lucius
honest,
is rich.
I'm
and
not
in my-
100% comfortable with Lucius being there myself.
I mean, the thing is, rich people have lots of friends.
Oh, actually, maybe he knows his dad. Daddy. Maybe he knows Daddy Lucius.
How?
I don't know. Daddy Alanasto. He's popular. I knew who he was.
I didn't. I know the family name.
I mean, I just assumed the Alanastos would have a Daddy Alanasto.
Well, yeah, he keeps going on about it.
Yeah. Anyway, what?
So, I've been doing some studying on that hammer you gave me. Thank you very much.
Okay, and
Remember-
we're giving it to the blacksmith.
The Gadwin's hammer.
Yeah, that's what it's. Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. So, I had that vision about Tiangong asking for the hammer for more power, and after studying, he literally did this at the end of the last episode.
You told me about that, did you? Okay, cool. Oh yeah.
I know it's been 2 weeks.
It's been
Come
2
on.
weeks. These are the notes I wrote. Aerois number 9, and just below that, Aerois number 10.
It's better than my notes.
Yeah.
So, it
So
was,
glad you're invested in my game.
it was after you guys talked to Vala, and you were talking about how she used Tiangong to get power.
Oh yes.
And then I explained that I had a vision with Tiangong asking about the hammer.
Okay. No,
and
I
you
did it
gave
so that
me-
we could recap because
Yeah.
it's been 2 weeks.
Okay. That's the recap.
Mm-hmm.
And then you, yeah, cool.
Right, get on with it.
Okay.
The
So I
vision,
conducted
yes.
an experiment,
Okay.
and I think I figured out that I can turn Tiangong into the hammer. And I think I might be able to do this with other weapons as well.
Right.
So it's still
Interesting,
Tiangong, but
yeah.
it's taken the shape of the hammer. And I can cast the spell like heat metal and mend.
But then you'll be
Oh.
a sword down.
Yes, but I'll be fighting with a hammer.
But we have a hammer.
Yes,
And
no,
a
we
sword.
don't. She left.
No, what was it? Gawain's hammer.
Gadwin's hammer, yes.
Gadwin's hammer. We've got that, and we've got a sword.
But do you know how to fight with a hammer?
You swing it.
Okay.
That does accurately describe how you use a hammer, yes.
Well, this is my question. You were very kind in lending me the hammer to figure out what it was Tiangong needed, and I wanted to ask you if you wanted it back, or if you're okay for me to keep experimenting with it, or if we want to trade it, or what, because you found it, so it's your call.
I mean, I didn't find it. Technically, Lucius opened the chest with acid.
Well, now I really don't know what to do. What do we do then?
But I mean, if you want to use it to power up Tiangong, go ahead. If you feel like that's the right choice,
I just don't want to be presumptuous.
it's not presumptuous.
My mum always said to share, unless it was in the case of her freshly baked winterberry cake, in which case it's everyone for themselves. But we should share.
Well, I mean, we've done a lot for this town already. If we give the blacksmith the hammer, all the better for them. But I mean, we have to get something out of it.
Okay, well, you just seem to be the unofficial leader of this group, so I just wanted to ask you.
I'm the what now?
I don't know, you seem to be the most clued up one. No offense, Sentry.
What? You agree? I'm clued up? I'm terrified, like all the time. I'm scared just having this conversation.
Okay, sorry.
No, I mean, I'm consistently on edge. If you want to use the hammer, then go ahead.
Well, if
I
maybe-
think the blacksmith would also appreciate it.
Well, you make a decision. I don't know. I need an adult. You're an adult.
Okay, here's the facts. The blacksmith, whose name is Dasa, she is in debt to the Brookstones. An unofficial debt because they gave her some dud iron. If she had the hammer, maybe she could repay that debt. Then again, we're going to see them later anyway, so we could probably solve that there.
Well, how about I just experiment with it a little bit, and then we can decide before we leave if I give it back or give it to you or throw it down a well.
How much do you trust your sword out of interest?
Oh, incredibly.
Completely. I mean, it's demanding power.
Yes. Most humanoids, creatures,
Sentry,
intelligent beings do.
Quill?
what do you think of the sword?
Well, speaking as someone who uses a weapon, your weapon becomes a sort of extension of yourself as a person in a way.
Does your shield talk to you?
My shield doesn't talk to me. I mean, Echo sort of communicates. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Aha!
Whoop whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop whoop. Right.
Floats back down.
But I mean, the echo is like a part of you. Tiangong is a separate sentience
We have a
entirely
bond.
to you. Okay.
It's hard to explain because I can't explain it.
Oh, that's a good reason.
But the second I found Tiangong, a bond was made. And it's like we're symbiotic.
Okay.
Remember when the elves took Tiangong?
Yeah.
I felt like a piece of me had been physically taken,
No, I saw that.
like a wing.
Wow.
She'd say that without any malice, by the way. Just like
Yeah,
really kind of like...
Yeah, it just comes off.
It's a good point.
Very good point. What do you want with the hammer?
I'm sissy. Tossing and turning.
Like I said, Quill, it was your hammer and you kindly lent it to me last night to run these experiments, so it's your choice. I don't want to take...
I don't think it's my hammer. I think it's the group's hammer, and if you feel like you get the best use out of it, then use the hammer.
Okay.
No.
Well,
If that's what you want to do with it.
okay. Well, let me experiment with it a bit more, and then...
So you hear footsteps coming down the stairs. Are you in pajamas?
Pajamas.
Okay.
A little hat with a bobble on the end.
A little floppy hat.
Where did you even get those from?
Can you all keep it down, please? I'm trying to sleep.
It's like...
And I've got baggies under my eyes.
Cucumbers are good for that.
Cucumbers?
Or ice. Yeah, cooling.
It's around about 10:40 a.m.
Is it only 10:40 a.m.? Unbelievable.
What?
Smug little face.
I mean, okay, we could leave.
Fine, I'll stay. What are you talking about? It's so
This hammer!
Oh, that
And
one.
I'll hold it up in front of Lucius's face.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, elegant, engraved hammer. Made
I
from
haven't
various
used it
metals.
yet.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it still looks the same as Gadwin's hammer.
So, what about it?
I can...
You don't have to put it so closely.
Sorry.
I'm still focusing.
Okay. I figured out that Tiangong can basically absorb this hammer and turn into it.
Why on earth would you want to do that?
Because then when I fight, I can cast mending and heat metal and hit people in the face with a hammer.
Oh.
And also probably do some small architectural jobs like hanging nails.
What does your sword do otherwise?
Talk to me?
Okay, let's stop the talking thing and make it heat metal. That sounds far more appropriate.
But I think I might be able to make Tiangong do the same for other weapons as well.
Oh. Like a spear?
Yes.
And a crossbow?
Yes.
And a dagger?
Yes.
And a mace?
Yes.
Okay. So, can it absorb multiple weapons at once and you just call upon them when you wish, or...?
I don't think so. I'm not sure. It's all a bit fuzzy
Yeah,
at
you
this
don't know.
point.
You don't know.
Do you really need it?
Well, no, but I just thought it would be interesting
What
to
a...
experiment.
Yes, I mean, I don't have any problem with
But
you.
that's what I was asking Quill, because it was technically Quill's hammer, because he had it, and I wanted to ask if it was okay for me to keep it, or if he wanted it back, or he suggested giving it to Desa. I don't know.
Oh, the blacksmith.
Yes.
Oh, she'd like that, wouldn't she?
But that's what I mean. I personally don't see why we should be one sword down and one hammer up, even though we've got a sword and a hammer already. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
No. Okay.
That's fair.
Well, we can give Desa the hammer.
Incidentally, didn't we pick up some wyvern leather?
Yes, I've got it actually.
Couldn't Desa make a suit of armor out of that?
Yes.
How about we give Desa the hammer and she makes some stuff for us?
For free.
For
Because
free.
we've just given
or
her a
it's just
powerful hammer.
enhanced because it's got heat metal and whatnot.
That could be good, because then the group would benefit.
Exactly. Rather than you bludgeoning people to death with a hammer.
I
Which
mean,
it
technically the
sounds-
group could benefit from that as well.
They could.
That's true.
But you could also slice them to death.
That's very true.
In which case, I say Desa.
However,
Voties!
wait, one last...
I hold my hand up with Lucius.
But before you vote for Desa, I know I'm swapping sides consistently, but didn't you say Tiangong was asking you for the hammer?
Yes, and we experimented last night. Tiangong seemed happy. showed this new power to me.
Well, why don't you ask Tiangong now what it wants to do?
Okay.
Oh no.
Are you trying to focus on Tiangong? You get the sense, there's no words, there's no communication, but there is just still this kind of longing, like this need to feed, and it's hungry for the hammer.
Bit crown, Randy.
Hungry. That's what you get from it.
Okay.
Hunger.
So I don't know if this is just Tiangong or if I'm currently influencing it, but hungry is the word I'm getting.
Hungry. Hungry? Hungry like it hasn't
So I
had
think
power in a while?
It would like to try with the hammer.
Well, that's what so is it hungry like it hasn't had power in a while and it's diminishing, or is it hungry like it's hungry for power in a very evil,
I
terrifying
don't
way?
think it's evil.
Hungry doesn't really.
Okay, 2 seconds.
Now, if I'm hungry, I get very grouchy.
It doesn't. You get the sense that in its current state, Tiangong can't really convey. It's not like it's talking to you. Sometimes you'll hear words, but you've never really been able to have conversations or ask it things before. It's generally like when you need power, it gives you power. When occasionally you have these visions where you get a word or 2 words at most, but yeah, you just get this sense that it's hungry.
To be honest, I can't really clarify the situation. Tiangong doesn't really speak to me. I can't have conversations with him, her, it, one, them.
But if you gave Tiangong the hammer, would you be able to have conversations with it?
I don't know. That's the thing.
I think, as unofficial leader of the group,
What?
we had a voties.
He's the most responsible.
You had a voties?
Apparently,
But I didn't put my hand up.
well.
I vote for you as unofficial leader.
Oh, good. I was kind of hoping you would vote against it. Then
It's a majority vote.
Oh, okay.
Yay!
You are very diplomatic.
Does that mean I have to come up with a name?
Yes. I'm going to look at the bulletin board while you're talking.
Okay.
I'm just going to swan off the bulletin board.
Do what you want with the hammer. If you want to feed Tiangong, then great. Daisa would also appreciate it, definitely, but we've already done plenty for the town.
Maybe I could feed the hammer, but then spit it back out for Daisa.
Ew. It can also regurgitate its own, what is it? Aarakocra?
So, Lucius, when you head over to the bulletin board, you can see that the piece of paper that had been put up previously for name suggestions, a couple more have been added. There's a lot around there's a lot which are kind of, along the vein of the Fallen Five or the various other kind of names around that. None of them really strike out. There's a couple that strike out. The Rose Petals is one. The Fallen Thorns is another one. There was another really good one.
Descendants.
The Descendants. The Sparrowblades. There's this one, The Broken Sky, but that doesn't seem very relevant at all.
Doesn't even make sense.
Doesn't
No,
make
it
sense.
How can you break a sky?
There was another one as well. There's a really good one that was Crash something, but I can't remember it.
Crash Bandicoot.
Team Racing.
No, it was not
Crash
either of
Bandicoot.
those. It was not any of those.
Team.
It was something to do with Crash. But yeah, there's a bunch of different suggestions down on the board. But yeah, so Nova, what's the plan? You've now had at least 10, 15-minute conversation where Quill has made no actual confirmed point. He's
I've
simply
pretty
suggested the
consistently
same
said-
2 things.
I've pretty consistently said that it's
If you
up
want
to
to,
Nova.
yeah, there
Very
you go.
diplomatic of you.
So it's your choice. What would you like to do? It will take you about an hour.
I would like to fuse with the hammer, please.
Okay, and you're going to do that here, or do you want to go upstairs? Do
I
you want to
should
go
probably
somewhere
do it in
quiet?
private.
Okay, you're going to go up to your room.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the next hour, you meditate. You have Gadwin's hammer, and you place Tiangong next to it. And when you close your eyes, you feel yourself surrounded by blackness, which then slowly begins to fill with stars. And you let these visions just come to you, not creating them in your imagination, but rather as if somebody's providing the images for you. You get the sense, that similar sensation of moving through the dark above, through space, and this growing coldness. but you then also begin to feel a light and a warmth begin to fill the space. You now see a little bit more around you. There is an interior with glowing green lines, similar to the shuttle that you saw before. You hear faint voices, but none of them you can really make out. Dark steel, black metal, and the stars moving past. You see Tiangong, this long blade, in the middle of a glass canister, power leaching from it into the shuttlecraft itself. And then when your eyes open, you just feel a sensation and hear good. And the hammer is gone, but Tiangong has shrunk down to about the size of a long dagger, like a long blade, like a long knife. You can see some of the etchwork that was on the hammer is now engraved into Tiangong's blade, but otherwise it still retains similar properties. And you now believe that it possesses the same abilities and powers as Gadwin's hammer. I don't know if I've already put it on a sheet.
I added it, yeah,
Okay.
but I haven't wielded it.
Okay, so if you wield it, then it basically that counts as Tiangong. It counts as your packed weapon, so you can even select it. Yeah, you see that? I can probably quickly do that as well, by the way.
I got it.
You got it? Cool. If you set it as packed weapon.
Yep.
Sorry, not packed weapon. Hex blade.
Hex weapon, yep.
Hex weapon, nice.
Cool.
Perfect. Yeah, so now, it still looks like Tiangong, but like a shorter, wider blade, dwarven runes and engravings along the actual blade, middle itself. The fulcrum, I think. Yeah, and it still appears the same, but shorter. And the hammer is gone. It's not a hammer, no.
This is a smaller blade.
Yeah. So I'm just going to look at it and be like, fascinating. Not what I expected. And then just start furiously writing notes about the whole thing.
Okay, perfect.
Cool. Bam. In that hour, or
Yes.
I guess in the time leading up, if we're not doing anything else, could I, outside of RP, just talk to a load of dudes and say, hey, what do you think of Brett Brookstone?
Yeah,
and just see
absolutely.
the general feeling around
you want to go around and speak to the locals and get the general vibe.
Guess
on
who's a
Brett Brookstone.
VIP? Got myself a meal
sure.
with the Brookstone boys.
Make
What do you think of that?
if you're going, are you trying to like schmooze? You're kind of like, oh, blah blah blah. Like, what do you think? Are you trying to be like cunning and like, or are you just outright just saying, look, tell me what you know about?
Yeah,
like,
just
tell me what you think.
What do you think of this guy?
Persuasion check.
Okay, bam. That is super cocked.
That was super.
Bam. Oh,
Nice.
Persuasion, 19.
19. So yeah, quite a lot of people open up, and it seems that most of the people in town are aware of the good work that the group's been doing, the charity that has been set up, that sort of thing, and they're more than happy to talk to you. The opinion is mixed, but leans towards that Brett Brookstone is a pretty selfish man. He cares about him and his family. He runs the mine, like there's a big mine out in the Ironweald near the town that you kind of get a little bit of his backstory, that he came from a very poor family.
Okay.
And he worked really hard. His family owned a small farm that was completely ravaged by wild elves, like several years, when he was, a teenager. The farm was completely wiped out. They couldn't save anything, and the family lost everything. He lost his parents quite quickly after that due to illness in the winter. But since then, he has worked and worked and worked, scraping and saving all of his money. And then he happened to basically strike lucky. He went and bought a bunch of mining equipment, and he found iron deposits out in the Ironweald, and he set up a basic mine.
Damn.
From that, he's made a ton of coin, he's employed people around the village, and he respects people that are willing to work hard, but he doesn't really care about where they come from. He employs a lot of people that are like drunkards or have had trouble in the past, people that have kind of committed petty crimes, but as long as they work hard for him, he doesn't really care. He has a big family. He has 6 kids and his wife, and they live in a pretty nice house over by the Ironweald. He doesn't like wild elves, but that isn't that surprising given his past.
No.
He's generally seen as a little bit selfish, but generally, not a bad guy. Like nobody's ever had trouble with him. They've normally had trouble with his workers. They can be known to like cause trouble around town. Normally, though, as soon as it gets reported, they stop misbehaving, or at least for a while.
Oh, okay.
So that's the vibe and the information you get with that check.
I think he's a good guy. I think I've just come out of that, which is like, I'm convinced.
Okay.
Cedric,
Yes?
I've got some notes from the bulletin board. I've torn it.
Oh,
Okay.
Look, we've got some rose petals.
nice.
This is the name for our group. by
Oh,
the way.
okay, yeah.
Our band, our troupe. Rose petals.
Nice.
I mean, that works for you.
Yeah.
You're kind of made out of a plant,
Yeah.
right? It doesn't really sum up all of us, though. I don't consider myself a rose, more like an orchid.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
Okay, one.
Okay, that's fair.
And quill is probably something that eats plants rather than is a
Oh,
rose.
look, those fly trap things.
Yes,
I've seen
Oh.
those, yeah.
carnivorous.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, there's more than just rose petals. There's the sparrow blades,
I like that one.
which I don't know if that's offensive to quill, because a sparrow is a different kind of birdie. And I don't know, he's an Aarakocra.
But it's also the name of the ship.
Oh yes, that's very clever. Oh, I didn't think of that. Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's a
that's
nice little
Not really
tie-
sure how
nice tie
the
into our
people of the
story.
town knew that, but somehow it's on the list.
You know, word spreads so quickly. The last one is descendants. I don't know where we're descended from. I assume it's
That's
about my
true.
daddy.
Probably, or when we
Descended
fell.
from Elenaster.
Well, yeah, you certainly did, yeah.
Yes, well, we didn't all. I wish you all were siblings. That'd be funny, wouldn't it? We'd all have far more money. Anyway, those are the options. The other ones are a bit rubbish.
I think we should take this back and do a little, do a votey.
A voting!
A votey?
Yes, and our leader, Quill, if it's a standoff, will make the final decision.
Oh, good.
Where is he, by the way?
I don't know.
Rosalina!
She comes out. Yes, dear. Hello. Have you seen Quill? I saw him heading out into the town when I was getting some supplies. He was asking the locals about Brookstone.
Oh, fair enough. Oh, but the charity.
Yes.
How's that going? Is it established? Have you set it up?
I have put the money away safely, and what I've asked people around the town to, come and tell me what they want it for, and I am writing down everything that they say, and then I will go through the list, and I will try and prioritize which I feel is more benefit to everyone.
That's very nice. Very businessy.
Well, yes, it is a lot of money. We need to make sure that it is not wasted.
Do you have enough? Do you want some more?
I mean, we will not say no, but you have already given
20
a lot. If you want Mr. Elenasto, please, you don't
Here you
need,
go.
you've already given. That's very kind of you. Thank you so much.
20 gold.
Yeah, you're gonna give 20 gold.
Yep.
I have more gold than you.
What now? You have more than 10 platinum, 2 gold?
Is that it?
10 platinum.
No.
That's 102.
Yeah, you have way more than me.
How much
Yeah.
have you got? I've got 25 gold.
878.
Well, I'm guessing
I have
because
the
you're.
slush fund.
Yeah, you've been gathering all of the crap, like the stuff that you've sold and stuff like that.
See? Everyone mocks me
So
for
technically,
looting.
You're
so
the
technically,
second poorest.
some of that money is everybody's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Good fund.
Thank you, Rosalie, you're doing very
Thank you very much, Mr. Elenasto. This is very kind of you. Thank you so much.
Lovely.
Rosalina, you've been so kind. Is there any way I can help you around the tavern at all? Like,
Oh
would you
my
like
dear,
any
no,
assistance at all?
you are paying as guests, of course not. You are guests here. No.
sure?
Yes, of course. We are myself and Reld and Yusef and Corin are all helping me. It's all fine. Do not worry.
Okay, no problem.
I am only. I would love to offer your other friends who are staying in the barn more comfortable accommodation, but I have to run my business. I have to. Otherwise, I have everyone in here asking me to stay and.
I could ask Arvel to stay with me now that Ayla's gone.
If you wanted to, I'm sure Mr. Dagos would love that.
I'm not there.
He is
I'm
not.
not
Oh, you're not there.
Sorry.
I don't know. You are in the room.
I
yes.
was just thinking as Kim, sorry.
Yes. Yeah. She's like, no. By no means. You are guests. You are paying. You have done so much for the town. I would not dream of asking you to help around the town.
Oh, it's
I have managed long and fine. It is fine. This is not my first time running a business. I am used to hard work. Trust me, this is much easier than my old job, so my old business.
Okay.
Okay, I'll probably come back now, but I'm
Mr.
talking
Quill.
to someone. It's just yes.
You've got like farmer.
Bob.
Farmer. No, it'd probably be a lady farmer. This one. It'd probably be. Like her name is probably
Cyril.
Kendra.
Kendra. Kendra!
Kendra.
Well, I'm probably
Comes
like...
back, well, yeah, I mean, we've never had any problem with Mr. Brookstone, but...
Well, okay. That's good to know, at least. Well, as I said, the charity is there for you.
Thank you very much.
I have no more money to give.
You do? I swear you do.
I'll speak to Miss Rosalina and we'll pitch in for the new fence around the farm.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Quill.
Goodbye.
Oh, Rosalina. Yes, come here. Okay, charity. Yes, fine. Come to my office. Thank you.
It's happening.
If you need anything, ask her out. She will provide for you. Okay, yes. Come in.
I'm hoping that they give more to the charity than they take. A lot of people are asking for stuff, but not really.
Do they need more money?
Well, no, we do not give any more money.
We have that group fund.
I know, but...
Once Daddy comes back, we can just replenish all of the funding.
Have you heard anything?
I hear lots of things.
From Daddy?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Not yet.
Still holding out?
We're going to Goldthrone, aren't we?
Well, I
He's
suppose...
not going to come to a little quaint town like this, is he?
No, true. Is he going
Very
to be
much
in
above him.
Goldthrone? Is he going to be in Goldthrone?
Below him.
Below him, yes. No. He'd send some sort of escort or, some
Messenger.
employee or a messenger or some, maybe
He wouldn't come personally to see...
Why would you spend the effort? He's got so much important affairs.
You're his son and you crashed in a ship and you just survived the Bitterwood.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. He might be emotionally invested.
Yes, possibly. Are you not?
Huh?
Emotionally invested?
Yes. On the brink of collapse at all times. Smiling it off, Bertie.
That's good to know.
You want some money?
No! Okay. How much money have you given away today?
20 gold.
How? Who? How? When? Who?
Rosalina, charity.
Oh, I suppose that's okay. That goes to everyone, I suppose. How much have you got left? How have you got any money?
This much? And I'd show him 10 platinum coins and 2 gold pieces.
Wow, that's more than I expected, actually.
Yeah.
I've got way less than that.
It's not for his pittance.
Is it?
Yes.
I've got 25.
Well, I started with thousands.
Thousands?
Yes.
We did.
Started with 1,000.
How much of that did you lose in the thing that we lost?
Thousands.
I had thousands.
You probably had 1,000 before you got on the airship to Imixan, and then you spent it slowly. I think you had like 200-300 when we started the campaign.
1,000.
And if we go to see, let's say we take you back to Daddy, will you just get this money back? Will you just be...
Oh, I'm sure, yes.
How much? There must be some cap, some limit. You have so much money.
Yes, but, we earn a lot too.
That's true, I suppose. Anyway, I just went around town speaking to a lot of people about Brett Brookstone. And, I mean, honestly, all right, I'll start this off with, what do you think of him, Sentry?
Can I, in this point, have just wandered down and,
About now.
and just like, I haven't said anything, I'm just suddenly there.
Yeah, Nova's there. Sat
Hey,
down.
Nova!
Go way back.
Hi, Yukio. Hi, Wade.
Hello. Hi.
I mean, he's been causing the town a lot of trouble, and I know that's not directly him, but I can't help but feel like, as a person who's responsible for, a large proportion of what happens in the town, I don't know. I don't trust him. I don't trust him.
Okay.
I want to, I want you guys to be safe and protected, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't get a good vibe from him.
What I heard from the town is that any time a worker of his has been reported doing wrong, he fixes it immediately, or as soon as he can.
But it never goes for good. It always comes back.
Okay.
Everybody's got a bad story, and it's always about Brett. It's always about Brett and the Brookstone boys.
Fair enough. So what do we do tonight then? I mean, we're going to meet them and their entire family, and there's 4 of us, and however many of them, there's at least 7, 8 of them. If they're all there, at least 8 of them.
We haven't done anything wrong. Why would they attack us?
I mean, I don't know. He has power in this town, and we've just come into the place, and people seem to like us a lot more than they like him.
Did they say that?
Well, no, but if I was a powerful megalomaniac in a big mining industry and 5 people wandered in and became the...
More like 8 people, actually, but yes.
8?
With Yusef and Karin and Vala and Arvel.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
That's
9.
We're a big group.
High five.
I fake it.
But I...
Because you probably wouldn't even know what a high five
I'm not wearing my silk gloves yet.
Wow.
You're like, oh no.
Air 5.
Okay. Mage hand.
Air Ganassi. Mage hand, yeah.
So what's the plan? You gonna stick around? You gonna talk more?
What are we going to do?
You're gonna take Arvel with you?
I'm going to take Armor with us, I suppose. Is he all healed up?
He was there when Brett invited you.
Yeah.
But, okay, but
He's fine. His legs all good.
Yeah.
totally healed up then?
Yeah.
No, like repercussions at all from.
Arvel's a good businessman as well. He has a good perspective. I think he'll be good to bring along.
True, and he was invited.
Yeah.
So, anything you want to do? Last question, or are we just going to jump ahead? Because if you're just going to stand around,
Let's go.
what do you want to do?
Descendants.
Yeah, you want to go?
Names
No.
for the
Oh, the names. You want to do the names, okay?
Names for the group.
I mean,
Let's go, rose petals.
Rose petals. Who suggested?
Let's go, sparrow blades.
Sparrow.
I like that one.
Sparrow. I don't understand. Sparrow blades.
It's
Yes.
the name of the ship we crashed on.
Oh, but that's someone else's ship. Like,
But I feel like we should carry their memory with us.
oh yeah, but he might build another ship called the Sparrow Blades, and then he might be a bad person, and then who knows? Our name might get dragged through the mud.
Okay.
It's just. I mean, it's just a ship.
How about Daddy's Kiddies?
What?
Daddy's Boys was another one written on the piece of paper.
Daddy's kiddies. I mean,
Bit weird.
Never.
Yes.
How's Tiangong?
It's fine.
Did you do it?
Yes. And I'll hold up my
Oh, he's got
long blue dagger.
that's not a hammer.
That's a lot smaller.
Yeah, I don't really know what happened there.
Has it lost its power?
No, it's still got like heat metal and the mending one.
But it doesn't bludgeon.
No, it
You can't hammer things.
stabs. Mark, help
So
a
we've-
girl out.
I mean, yeah, it's a dagger. It would be stabbing.
Yeah,
Well, is it still hungry?
I don't know. Like I said, I can't really have conversations. It's not like it's.
Well, yeah, but you can, you know.
You sensed its hunger.
I did, but nothing happened.
Didn't. Okay. What happens if you now?
Yeah, still the same thing, but rather than being hungry, there is a kind of content for now.
I'm getting a sense that Tiangong's content.
Okay.
That's nice.
I just broke my mini.
No.
It's fine. We can fix
Can be
it.
glued.
It can be glued.
But okay, so if it's content now, what happens if it gets hungry again?
I don't know.
But then we feed it, and what happens if we can't feed it? What if we don't have anything to feed it?
I could feed you it.
Can you do that? Can you?
It to you. You to it.
You
Yes.
can feed me Tiangong?
Oh,
No, I'm messing with you.
Okay. I thought that was a threat that you'd stab me with it.
I'd never threaten you.
Okay, that's good, because
You're like
would
a big
work.
brother to me.
that's actually
Big birdie brother.
it was the nicest thing until then he started speaking.
But you are a birdie brother.
I know, but I feel like he just says words.
Kim, I just had to quickly, I'll have to update it. It didn't have the +1 to hit and damage bonus, so that's been added now.
Okay, thank you.
So it also has a +1 to hit and damage,
Wow.
as well as the spells.
good old D&D Beyond.
Was there any other name?
Yep.
The descent.
No, they're all rubbish.
What about the fallen thorns?
There's this one here for the fallen thorns. That just sounds like, thorns have just died and wilted off
But I mean,
a plant.
we're in Rosehall. Actually, speaking of rose petals, we are in Rosehall.
We are in Rosehall.
Yes, we won't be for long, right? We don't want to be known by a tiny little town.
What if we just wait until something defines us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe the time will feel right.
Until then,
You don't need to, it was just a thing of
Yeah.
like, if you,
until then, we are just the ones that did the charity in Rosehall.
Nova and the quarks.
Quarks? What's a quark?
It's a star thing.
Ah, it's pretty.
Quillinasto tree.
What's that?
It's an amalgamation of us.
Wait,
Oh,
Quillinas.
where's the...
Quilvanasto
Oh, Quilvanas
tree.
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 Yes.
Quilvanastria.
Culvinastria.
Quilvanastria.
Quilvanastralia.
Quilvanastria.
Australia.
If
Food for
anyone-
thought. Anyway, let's carry on.
Australia.
I'd like to see someone spell it.
Okay.
Do we want to
Anything
get this is Kim asking, do we want to get the wyvern stuff made into
yeah.
armor?
I think we'll deliver it with the intention of her making something out of it.
Right. So when you go to do that, I don't want to role play it 'cause
Let's get to the dinner
like
party.
to crack on, please. But what she says to you, Dasa says that she can turn it into a suit of leather armor, leather, studded leather, or hide armor. It will cost 400 gold and take 2 weeks to make. However, when it's made, it will give the property, and this is out of character knowledge, but it would give the property of you would ignore the first 5 points of poison damage that person takes. So the first 5 points of poison damage from an attack you would ignore. Anything. It's not resistance, because that would apply that would halve any damage. This would just ignore the first 5 points of poison damage.
We do have steel ingots as well. We could possibly barter with. Or...
Yeah, those are worth, I think I estimated them to be they're worth about 50 GP each.
I have 100 gold.
Yeah. I can take the 400 out of the slush.
Well, I've got 3 steel bars.
Oh,
But it's 2 weeks, so
yeah.
Yeah,
I
you'd
don't
have
think
it.
we want to stay.
We won't be here for 2
Dazo
weeks.
is happy to send them to Gold Throne. She can deliver it to Gold Throne.
It's quite a niche trait, really. Poison.
Well, how much would it be to sell?
Once made, it would be worth probably more than the 400 gold it costs to make it, because you're providing the raw materials. It would probably worth about, say, 700 gold. You'd make a 300 gold profit on it.
It's nearly double.
Might be worth just doing.
Yeah.
It's a good investment. We're businessmen
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Yeah, it will cost Daisy to make. It will cost 400 to make, including her fees. But yeah, it's your wine and leather if you're willing to do that.
I think in that case we would sell the steel as well. So
So you've got
150
3 of them,
gold.
yeah? 150. So you'd need to pay another 250, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Birdie in the band of business boys. That's what the team name.
Sorry, what's a boik?
It's a gender neutral term.
Oh.
Right, your mic's buzzing. Just a second. Just gonna fix it here.
All right, Steve's fixing Trot's mic. Right, so who's paying the 250? You paid that?
So I'll
Come out
pay
the fund?
250, and then you put the ingots and the
Yeah.
leather, and then
So remove the ingots.
should we just say get it sent to Arvel's?
Yes,
Place,
she's
yeah.
happy to do that. She can send it up to Arvel's trading
Cool.
company.
Awesome.
Money removed.
In that case, up next. Is that all fixed?
We'll find out.
Okay. In that case, we'll get
Do you want it made as studded leather? She recommends you have it made as studded leather armor.
whatever she suggests.
Yeah.
She's the expert.
Cool. So
Okay.
I guess now we'll get Arvel.
You get like lunch, and you can get Arvel, and and then head up.
Oh, we're getting lunch. Let's role play that.
We're about to have
Okay, we'll get.
Oh, what should we get? If you
Arvel.
would like to roleplay lunch, Tom Hazel, you're more than welcome to.
Nom 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 nom.
Podcast listeners, I've just been given the crazed look of a DM that doesn't want me to do something.
I want you to have fun, Tom Hazel.
This is
No.
fun.
In all joking, I'm more than happy. You guys can do whatever you want. It's you
What's
guys
on the
can,
menu?
yeah.
Every single item.
If you want to look at the menu, I can get that out for you.
I'd like to split the party by just leaving.
Yeah.
We all
Are
go
we
off
having
on separate
entrees?
adventures.
Until you tell me you're not doing that, I'm going to get my list up.
No.
No, we're not doing it. Right, we're getting Arvel. We are heading up to Brookstone.
Do we need to spruce up? Montage!
Yeah.
Sorry, Mark.
Just polishing Sentry.
You can absolutely pay for the Rosalina has a bath. You can pay to have baths and things like that.
I would be doing that anyway.
Okay. It does just for the hot water and things like that. It's like a silver piece just for her to prepare a hot bath individually.
Okay.
Because the water needs to be heated.
I paid for that.
Okay. So anybody who wants a bath, you can have a bath. There are soaps. She actually has things like perfumes and oils, which are all in the bath.
Any bath
room.
salts?
She can pour in. It's not a salt, but it's like an alchemical mixture, which gives it the smell of rose water. It kind of turns it pink, and there's crushed rose petals and
quite
things.
dense bones, so enough salt for me to float in water. Because I like
There
the
is no
feeling.
salt. There's no salt.
What?
I have lotions. I have oils, but no salt.
Oh, that's a shame. Okay.
How do we start role playing this? Just have the bar, we'll get Arvel, we'll go to the manor.
But if you want to spruce up, you can. I'm assuming you do that.
I absolutely.
Do you have any
spruce up.
metal polish?
Yes, I'm sure Daisa can provide. I do not have it here, but Daisa can probably polish. Yes.
Fantastic. Can
Doesn't
I buy some?
Doesn't my room have a bath?
No, there is one bath for the inn.
Okay.
It's like a separate room that you pay for, basically.
Bathroom.
I'll
Yeah.
bath myself.
Yeah, you can go to Daisa and like she'll polish
Fantastic.
you up.
Just sit there, just like.
Yeah, literally, she just sits there with like a wire brush and stuff like that, cleaning
Fantastic.
you up. Takes care of your chainmail as well, which has probably been like a little bit rusted and stuff from misuse. Like,
Is that a
jumping
paid
and
service?
things.
Can I pay it? for
Daisa
that?
will do it for free because
Aw.
she's interested in working on a guardian. So yeah,
It's like C-3PO at the end of Empire.
Yeah, kind of like an oil bath.
Or New Hope.
But it's actually Daisa and her son. She has a teenage son that do it. Like they work together and kind of clean you up at the end of the
Awesome.
day. Yeah, just before the dinner. Okay, so you all do that. When you head over to Brett Brookstones, it's nearing. It's twilight. The sun has gone down. The stars are beginning to shine overhead. You can see the cradle, this kind of multicolored band of light. And his house is a kind of large townhouse out on the outskirts of the town, nearest to the Iron Weald itself. So you can hear the sounds of the forest. You can hear animals. You can hear like the wind rustling through the trees. And Brookstone's not quite a manor, but it's a very large house. You can see there's a large barn. It's got multiple rooms, a little porch on the front. And as you go up, Arvel kind of goes with you and just at the front door, gives it a knock.
Well, buddy, we'll see if your intuition is sound.
Just saying, this is what I think.
And the door is opened, and you see Brookstone there. He's wearing a loose tunic shirt, a pair of slack trousers, leather belt, boots. And he smiles. He's like, "My friends, welcome, welcome. Please come in, come in. Do you have any coats or cloaks I can take for you?" There we go. Thank you very much. And he hangs it on it's like a deer, like loads of deer horns made into like a coat rack that he hangs it up on.
There's a bit of fabric on the back. Don't put it on the collar, please, otherwise it'll make a mark.
Will do, will do. He hangs it up properly.
I'll be keeping my cloak. It covers the...
Of course, if you wish to. I'm not just the offer is there. Please come on through. I hope that you're going to enjoy the cooking this evening. Gemma's been working on it all day. Come on through to the pantry, the parlor. And he takes you through in a nice wooden kind of corridor, various rooms splitting off, and he leads you into a large parlor room where there is a table, a large dining table set up. It's probably got enough spaces for like 8 or 9 people. It's massive. Above on the far side of the wall, there is a mounted stag's head. You can see that there is a longbow in like a framed case, a set of quivered arrows. There is a large axe, like a woodcutter's axe, that's been hung up on the side as well. All sorts of like pelts and furs and sort of things kind of draped over chairs and that thing's real hunter's lodge kind of vibe. And sat at the table, very pristinely dressed, nice little outfits, all in like clean shirts or a pretty dress. You see that there are 4 children. Yep, 4 children. There are 3 boys, one of whom looks to probably be about 16. The other 2 are probably around 10. And then a young girl who looks maybe about 8 or 9. All sat down very pristinely, very politely. At the far end of the table, serving, cutting through like a large suckled pig. Is a woman. She's very small. She's much smaller than Brett, who's this huge, bulking figure. But she's got a very pretty face, very nice dress, curled hair tied up, and she's got these big mitts on as she's kind of carving through the thing. And she's just like, "Well, welcome, friends. Please come and sit down." And she kind of claps her hands. "Sandy, why don't you get our guests a drink? And is there anything you like? Water, or beers, or anything like that, or?"
just water.
Of course. For yourselves, water as well.
Well, usually I'd have red wine with a red meat, such as...
Well...
However, I don't like stains on my lips, so I'll have white, please.
Well, Brett is just like, I'll tell you what, Sammy, and he gestures to the one of the boys, puts some coin in his hand. Why don't you run along down to Rosalina's, go buy a white wine for the friend, a bottle.
Buy one?
Yes, we're not wine drinkers, I'm afraid.
Oh, you should be. It's delightful.
Well, I will share a glass with you, friend. Go on, Sammy, off you go.
We're not sharing the glass, though, are we?
No, we have plenty of those. And the little boy is like, he gets up and he sets his way off down to the thing.
How very kind.
Well, it's my pleasure. You are guests after all, and if there's one thing we can do properly in Rosehall, it's hospitality. Now, please take a seat. We'll get the drinks ready, and Gemma will serve up some delightful food in the meantime. Well, you probably know me. I'm Brad Brookstone. It's a pleasure to have you all here. And he points to his. I'll introduce the family. This is my wife, Gemma, the loveliest thing in all the land. And he kind of gives her like a wink, and she kind of titters and like, "Stop it, Brett. You're embarrassing." And goes to sorting out the food. There's two of my boys. That's Dent and Will. Sammy's just run off down to fetch the gentleman his drink. One of my other sons, my eldest, Finn, he's working at the mine tonight, I'm afraid. We're hard workers here in the family, and just because we have guests doesn't give them no reason to take the night off. This here is Sander. This is one of my little girls, and then Fila's the other. She's off working tonight as well. She's a guard up at my mine.
Big family.
Yes, I've been blessed. I've been very mightily blessed. A wonderful family with a wonderful life. It's been quite a pleasure. And that's us. That's the Brookstones. Please introduce yourselves. Arvel kind of looks up. He's like, "Oh, well, real kind of your friend, Arvel Dagus of Dagus Trade Emporium up in Gold Throne. It's a pleasure to meet a fellow businessman. I've heard of the Brookstone family before. I believe I've dealt with a few of your suppliers. Very, very, very pleased to accept the invitation. Thank you very much. This is a lovely house and a lovely meal." And he sits down and gets a beer. How about the rest of you? Who's going to...
Lovely to meet everyone. I am Keelek Kalar.
You can see the kids are like, "Holy moly, this is a bird man."
and I am an Aarakocra. Wow. But my friends call me Quill, so please. Quill.
I call him Birdie.
He calls me Bird.
The kids are like, "Hee hee hee," and then you say that. Well, Quill, it's a pleasure to meet you. I've never had the pleasure of meeting an Aarakocra before. Obviously, I heard of your kind. Messengers, I believe, flying all over Aerois. What a life that must be.
Yes, all over. I've never had the pleasure of meeting such an esteemed hunter.
Oh, well, it's a little family tradition we have. You know, the Iron Weald is a dangerous place, so I try and make sure me and the whole family know how to handle ourselves out there if we need to. I hope, oh my goodness, I feel terrible. Hopefully no apologies. These are all ground-based critters.
Good.
I don't know if that makes a difference or...
I was about to say, are there any birds of prey?
There are no birds. There are no birds. They're all very much woodland creatures. Yeah. Probably the most horrific one. You'd probably notice this. There is a large, like, multi-eyed spider's head that has been stuffed and kind of like put on a little pedestal in the corner.
Lovely.
But it's enormous. Like it's probably about this big. This head. The creature it came from must have been huge.
Wow. Okay. Jeez. Were all of these hunted in the Iron
Yes,
Weald?
yes. All of these. Everything here is me and the boys or me and Fila have killed. It's just been sort of a family tradition, like I said. I used to make a lot of, back in the days before I found the mine, I used to do a lot of hunting out in the woods, selling pelts to the traders, that sort of thing, to the Dale Guild. Picked up a bit of a knack for it, but tried to pass that on to the family. But there's a lot of dangerous critters out there. There's giant elks, dire wolves. The Iron Weald spiders are the worst. Tough as hide that you can imagine. Parts of iron shining through their little chitinous skin. Yes, friend?
I didn't mean to be rude.
Yes, of course.
Quite put off my appetite now.
Oh, my apologies.
Yes, surrounded by dead creatures and talking about cutting them up and whatnot.
Well,
Makes me a little queasy.
I'm sorry, friend. I can assure you that this succulent pig is not from the Iron Weald. This is a good, whole Rosehall farmer's stock. One of the tastiest meats you'll ever have.
Excellent.
And the cooking looks exquisite. It looks like it has been slaved over and like really, presented well. There is a thick kind of sticky marinade over the pig that's just turned like the crackling has just turned firm and bubbled. The vegetables all have been slow roasted, covered in a hard salt.
I'm so hungry right now.
And you can see that the wife Gemma is very proud as she's serving out these plates to you all. But anyway, what about the rest of you?
Can I just be really formal and just stand up straight?
Again, the kid's eyes are like, Birdman and a robot.
Look, thank you for having us in your home. It's very kind of you. I am Sentry, Guardian of Solvin.
They nod, and Brett kind of is like, thank you very much. I do hope that tonight can help dispel some of your suspicions and concerns, my friend. Having such a pristine figure such as a guardian, of course, I've told the children many stories, and they kind of like get excited eyes about the guardians of old, the ancient warriors that fought against the Starbane's forces. So we are most pleased to have you amongst us today. I've heard of the legendary fighting skill of your people. Have you done much hunting before, or?
No, not a lot, no. I was mainly an interior guardian, so I was placed within the palace walls.
Palace?
Solvin, yeah.
My goodness. Wow, what a story, what a story. You'll have to tell us all about it. What about the rest of you? Introductions?
Yeah, I'll stand up and be like, hi, I'm Nova. Nice to meet you, Mr. Brookstone. Well, obviously we met. Nice to meet you, Mrs. Brookstone. This looks amazing. It's been ages since I've had a good home-cooked family meal.
Oh, thank you, dear. Thank you so
wonderful.
much.
If I can help you with anything, just let me know.
No.
Like,
You are
honestly.
guests in our home. You sit there and you enjoy this meal. It's my pleasure to put this on for people that have done so much to help the town. And she kind of is just like, we've heard all the stories of you going around helping, and Brett was telling me about this new charity fund. Why, it's just the most wonderful thing I can think of. What a lovely gesture to the town, especially a small, little out-of-the-way place like this. No, you sit there, dear. You sit there and you just enjoy, please. And she just goes, kind of finishes off the final preparations.
I was wiping a single tear with a napkin. It's okay. We did that out of the kindness of our hearts. I'm going to stand up. I am Lucian Virion Elwin Elenasto of the Elenastos in Gusthaven.
Now, I have heard of the Elenastos.
Oh, you have?
Of course.
Wonderful.
You helped manufacture the, something to do with Ethereum cages of some sort.
Correct.
Oh,
Very crucial component for Sentry.
quite the rich family is what I'm aware
Well,
of.
I wouldn't say such. Yes.
Well, what an esteemed guest to have in the Brookstone family. Now, please, children, what do you say? And at this point, Sammy, the young boy, has come back, and he's got a bottle of wine, he's a bit out of breath. Here you go, Dad. And he's just like, thank you, son. Excellent work. And then he pops the cork and finds glasses and pours wine. Hands it to you. Is that you holding it?
A toast.
Well, I was just about to make the same suggestion. Toast. He raises his glass with a tall beer to making new friends and to all the great work you've done here in the town.
And stopping Brookstone people from beating others up.
There is an awkward silence. Give me. Are you saying that as a
Totally
complete,
naive.
genuine, naive thing?
Naive.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, there's no malice behind
No,
it.
just
okay.
dumb.
There is a moment where the air catches. Brooke looks at you, kind of eyes you a little bit. Well, indeed. Whatever. We'll definitely deal with any such troublemakers, won't we, children? We know what happens to people that misbehave in Daddy's company. And they're like, yes, Papa. And he's just like, clinks glasses.
Lovely.
Yeah.
What happens to those who misbehave, Lucius?
Yes.
Yeah. Nothing goes wrong. It is a lovely dinner. The food is delicious. It is clearly cooked with care and attention. Brett generally entertains you with stories. He kind of tells you a little bit about how he made his money, how hard, his life. Without Ayla there's the only thing which kind of comes up. He doesn't even seem to mind Lucius. Like, he talks about how he admires the Sky Cities, how he'd love to visit them one day. He talks about, the majesty of it. The kids ask a million questions, the two of you. The only thing is near the end, he's just like, now, I must admit, I once had a very troubled past with wild elves, and I'm kind of somewhat glad that your other friend couldn't make it. I still find it very difficult to be in their presence. I can't help but think of my mother and father, who I lost quite tragically, but I do wish, you all seem a good sort, and I just, be careful with wild elves. They can be a savage group. They don't care much for hard work. They just take what they want, and I'm sure that your friend has been a stalwart ally in battle and such, but y'all should just be careful.
I don't mean to be rude, but my nanny always used to say, judge one by the one and not by the all.
Sounds like a very wise woman.
I don't know what it means, but I think it applies in this scenario.
It does. Like I said, I hope y'all are careful, because
We've had our run-ins already and almost died, thanks to
they're a dangerous
Didn't we
people.
We did, Lucius, yes.
He's our unofficial leader.
Really?
Apparently.
Oh, the leader of this little mercenary band.
Very
Well,
perceptive.
mercenary isn't really what we'd call it. Would we? Mercenaries?
Well, what do you do as a
I don't feel very
group?
mercenary.
Well, we've
No,
got a
I feel
list
more
of
helpful.
names.
Treasure hunters,
Help
helpers,
people, yeah.
I mean, so far we've
good
crashed.
Samaritans.
We've
I'm just a voyager, exploring, noting.
Very good.
I've probably spent most of the dinner party playing with his daughter.
Yeah,
Like just-
yeah. She's actually quite bookish. You can see that she's very much interested in your book. She asks you like what books you've got on you and like what ones you're reading.
I just think-
She seems to be quite learned.
Yeah, for Nova, like just being back in a family situation with
Yeah.
like, little kids and stuff.
Yeah, the boys are very boisterous.
Yeah.
The boys are kind of constantly like fighting and shoving each other, and Brett's always telling them to pack it in. And when he does, they pay attention, but then they quickly turn back to squabbling. Anything else?
Throughout,
Yeah.
when he kind of is a little stricter with the kids, do any of us notice
I think that
any
sounds like an insight check.
fear in the kids' eyes? Like a
Yeah, sure. Insight check.
I think.
Or if you're looking for like if
Yeah.
you're looking for body language, yeah, no, insight. It would be insight. Yeah.
I guess we're all kind of passively doing that anyway.
Yeah.
So
No,
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Like if you want to
would
be
be.
like throughout this whole thing, the two of you are like super paying attention to what's going on. Then yeah, you can just tell me what your passive or you.
I
can
think
make a
we're all
roll.
ready for something to go wrong.
Make a
so,
roll,
like,
and if it's lower than your passive, then we'll just use your passive.
I'm just
Okay.
having a whale of a time playing with the kids.
Yes, lower than mine. Mine's 13.
Okay, so what's your passive? Is 13.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Quill?
got 16.
And what's your passive insight?
13.
Okay, so 16. Okay, so
16 as well.
16. So there is a look in the kid's eyes in as much as any strict father, but you definitely notice that when Brett says jump, these kids will jump. Like this is a family that he rules. But it does not seem to be an unkind rule. There is genuine love between him and his children and him and his wife. When he talks about his hardships, you don't get the sense that he's lying about them. You can tell by the way that he talks and the way that his manner is that this is a guy who worked his way up from the bottom and has kind of developed himself into the self-made man that he is today. When he talks a little bit about Isla and the Wild Elves, he's very much repressing a lot of anger. You get the sense that like in him advising you to be careful, he's really holding back from saying what he feels. You get the sense that whatever he wants to say, he's forcefully not doing that. He's saying what he thinks is more polite. But yeah, apart from that, unless there's anything else you want to talk about or say or ask, the dinner goes well. A dessert of a treacle cake is emerged.
Oh my god.
Near the end, as you're kind of finishing up, Gemma begins taking the plates away. There is a knock at the door.
Okay.
Brett stands up. He's like, "Excuse me, friends." Goes to it, opens it, and you hear a familiar voice. You recognize it as the Field Marshal Merrick's that you met before, and he just goes, "Evening, Brett. Are the travelers here? I need to speak to them." He's like, "Well, of course, Merrick. Is something wrong? I need to speak with the others, please." He's like, "Please, come in, come in." And you see Merrick, this field marshal, and you can see he's wearing his armor. He's wearing scale mail. Crossbow is slung at his back, and he has a long sword at his side.
Is that more than normal?
Yeah, when you saw him, he was wearing like farmer's clothes.
Wow.
He was just having dinner.
He comes in. "Sorry to interrupt your pleasant evening.
Dabbing.
I need to.
Dabbing with a napkin, not dabbing.
With a napkin, yeah.
You need to come with me. Something's happened back at the Brazen Heart."
The Brazen Heart?
Yes, I'm afraid it's probably better I talk on the way. This isn't a conversation to have during a dinner.
Well, in that case, I'm sorry to cut the evening short, Brett.
Oh, he looks over. He's like, "Merrick, is everything all right?" He's just like, "I'll talk to you later, Brett. I may need to come and ask you some questions. If you wouldn't mind coming with me."
Yes.
Certainly, of course.
And you are, if you leave, Brett is just like, "Well, thank you, friends. I'm sorry to have the evening ended this way. If there's If anything's wrong and you need my help, please come and speak to me.
You are most hospitable, and we very much appreciate your
Thank you very much.
Goodbye.
goodbye.
To go.
Time.
Yes, thank you, friends. And you are led back to the Brazen Heart, where there is a gathered crowd. It's probably about 9 o'clock. I mean, a few hours since you left. And there is a gathered crowd around the inn, around the stables, around
what?
at the back. As you begin to make your way through, Merrick calls out, "Guards, come on, clear the area. We can't have these people around." Start asking questions, and you can see several of the locals are being pulled away by the Harvest Guard and ask questions.
Right.
And as the crowds begin to part is when you see the blood splatters all
What?
across the ground. And you see 2 lifeless bodies.
What?
Oh, God, no way.
And that's where we're going to take a break.
No!
See you after the break!
No!
Shit.
Ah.
No.
Steve's just not even there. I'm saying, let's do it again.
God.
Hello. Welcome back to High Rollers D&D.
Fuck you, Mark.
I've put my evil cardigan on because it's cold and I'm evil. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, man, you should go back and watch the first half on the Twitch VOD.
Yeah.
Because things have escalated.
Yeah.
The party return to the Brazen Heart after their dinner with Brett Brookstone and his family is ended with the Field Marshal, Merrick, turning up to tell them that they needed to return to the tavern because something had happened. When they return, the crowd parts to reveal blood splattered all across the straw floor of the barn and 2 bodies against the hay bales.
Don't say it again, that makes it canon.
You all can see, you're all still on the edge. Merrick has just stood behind you, and you can see several of the harvest guards are asking questions of the local townsfolk. I mean, what do people do?
Podcast listeners, Rhiannon has a look of complete shock and despair and mild hatred for the DM. Like she's suddenly realised that High Rollers is not the happy affair that it has been for the last 10 weeks.
Yeah.
A trap.
So,
Welcome to High Rollers, Rhi.
I think who's doing what?
Lucius will instinctively look away.
Yeah.
In,
There's a lot of blood.
Yeah, just like, oh, that's awful.
I mean, I would like to identify
The bodies.
the bodies
So,
from afar.
So from afar. So Sentry and Quill, you're like trying to look and see
Yeah.
who it is. Nova, what are you doing?
I think she'd kind of go into her own version of shock and be like, scientifically speaking, that amount of blood.
So you're like
that definitely
doing the
is-
calculations.
Definitely, like,
in your
just
head.
thinking, but like just talking endlessly, like she's shocked and really scared, but like just
So-
endlessly talking.
Lucius and Nova, you're just too stunned by the scene. You're looking away. Sentry and Quill, when you look over, you can see that both bodies are wearing Siaskan priest robes. One is a woman with dark skin and a head wrap, and the other is a young man. It is Yusuf and Corin. They are huddled together. It looks like in their final moments they were holding onto each other. There is a trail of blood, which looks like Yusuf crawled over to Corin's body and died next to him. No! There is the wounds that you can see. This is a brief glance. Tears out of their flesh. You can see their robes are all torn up. But that's you need to get closer to get more information.
I would immediately turn away and try and walk away from the scene and just immediately try and find Vala.
Okay, so you're going to look around for Valor.
Yeah.
Okay, so you begin running around. Are you asking or are you just looking? You're
I
just,
mean, I know that she would have been in the Brazen Heart. I want to basically find her before she comes to the place and finds herself.
Unless
Yeah,
she's gone
no.
missing.
so you go looking for that. You
seeing
fought the
the
game with
Quill
Quill.
dying away. I'm like, Quill, what is it?
I'm like not saying anything.
Quill!
I'm just
Okay,
like
so Quill runs off.
moving.
What's everyone else doing?
Okay, of course not. I think I'm just gonna stay behind. I'm gonna be like so, like just riled up. I'm gonna be like, like so angry.
Okay. You two? Anything?
What?
Or are you still doing the in shock? Are you still both kind of?
Did you see?
No, did you see?
No. But Quill's run off. The sentry's going crazy.
I hate to say it, but in the barn it was Yusuf and Corin.
No.
Yes.
No, please. I'm going to push through.
Yeah. Yeah. You push through and you step in and you can see some of the guards trying to stop Lucius. Because obviously you're like kicking all the straw and stuff away. But yeah, as you kind of push through, you can see these 2 bodies. Like I said, they look like Yusuf crawled.
Do we have a healer? Anybody?
One of the harvest guards, and you can see it's the dwarven woman, Windy Gale. She kind of just puts
There's
the
something
hand.
that can be done, surely.
There's no. We already tried, son. They're long gone. They died hours ago.
Hours.
Perhaps about, we think maybe an hour or so ago, they bled out.
What on earth happened?
So as you ask that question, Quill, you run around. You spend minutes looking for Valor. There is no sign of her in the town.
Not in the Brazen Heart.
Not in the Brazen Heart. You begin learning outside. As you are looking outside, you hear them. You hear one of the harvest guards asking a local, who just is like, "I saw some. He was a big fella. Must have been over 7 feet tall. He was carrying that girl towards the south gate. The one that came in with them strange folk.
I'll go straight to him and say, what did the girl look like?
The one that came with you, dark hair, young, 14, teenager.
Okay, and then I'll go back through and find these 3.
Yeah, they're still there. So when you look at Windy Gale turns to you, it's like, from what we've learned, there is an individual, a tall figure, muscular, wielding some sort of large chain. A few folks saw him leaving. Nobody saw the attack itself, but Rosalina heard some commotion, and when she came out, the two had already bled out. They saw this fella carrying away the younger girl, the teenager that came with you.
Valor.
We saw them heading towards the southern gate. We've sent men to look, but it's like he just vanished. He just stepped into the shadows and disappeared. We know that some of the guards who were closer at the northern gate, there was reports of a direwolf in the Iron Weald. They went out to try and deal with that, but they couldn't find it. And when they came back, this had all happened. So, Merrick looks to you. Merrick kind of turns to you all. He's like, "I'm really sorry. We're obviously going to spend everything we can to find out what happened, and I've already dispatched scouts to try and track down whoever's responsible, but there's not many of us."
It's too late. They're dead. We
I'm
failed
afraid
them.
so.
We failed them. Century. They're dead.
I know.
It looked like there's defensive wounds. We've seen some evidence of spells being cast. We think that they put up a fight of some kind. But I'm afraid that by the time Rosalina was the first one here, and she said it was already too late.
We did so much for them. We should have been here for them. I should have been here for them.
There was nothing that any of you could have done. This 7-foot tall man with a chain. Nobody's seen him before. Nobody knows anything about him. We suspect he could be some sort of maybe an assassin or something like that. But he just came into town. There was no way you would have known this.
But we didn't check in on them. We just went around doing our own thing.
The only thing I need to ask is the wild elf that came with you. There's a lot of people. Well, she's not been seen all day.
Ayla?
She left. She left this morning. She left a note on my pillow.
And a lot of people. This has happened the day that she left. I should warn you.
She wouldn't do this.
I'm not saying she did, but there's a lot of people that are leaning back on old hatreds.
Then please downplay the rumors.
I am trying my best.
Because she was protecting them as much as we were.
Yeah, if she's a kind soul, she doesn't need this.
All I can say is I'm just giving you warning.
Doesn't need fuel for the fire.
I know. Like I've mentioned, we think that, this figure was last seen heading towards the southern gate, but when he stepped into shadow, he seemed to vanish. We've lost tracks. I'm not sure what the next steps. I have about 8 harvest guard here in the town, and I'm not including myself. I've dispatched as many of them as I can to scout out, but I have to keep most of them here just in case anything happens to the town. But anything I can do, I'm happy to help.
I'm going to assume that we're all in agreement that this is now personal and that we must find
Very much
Valor.
so.
I guess I'm there now.
Yeah, so you kind of come in at the trail end of that conversation.
Okay.
I guess we don't need a votees on this one.
There's no vote. We need to find
No
Valor.
question.
Okay.
Of course.
You're more than welcome to look around the scene. I'll make sure the harvest guards know that you're investigating this. Given that you survived Dwalin Den, I'm in no doubt about your skills. But yes, if you need to speak to people of the town, please make sure myself or one of the harvest guard are present. You aren't deputized individuals. I can't have you just going around questioning people, but I'm happy to provide you a guard to lend authority to it.
I assume you don't want the culprit removed from the equation. You'd want him brought in for questioning?
For justice. Questioning. We've got eyewitness reports of him leaving the scene with the girl. Given the blood, the weapon he was wielding, I'm under no doubts that he was responsible, but...
And what is your justice system here?
He'd be taken up to Gold Throne for a trial and executed. Murder carries a pretty heavy penalty around here, so...
And if we don't find him?
I hope you do, because you might be the only ones that can find that girl.
If we don't find him, then we lose Val.
In terms of the...
What if he never makes it back, is what I'm saying.
In terms of the bodies, well, that's... A lot of things happen in the Iron Weald and the lands around it. In terms of the bodies, Torvin said that he's happy to preserve their bodies, and then we'll take them up to Gold Throne. There's a church of Siaska there. I know that they were priests of the Star Mother, so we'll make sure that they go up and are seen by their kin. Torvil doesn't he's not comfortable performing last rites as they weren't worshippers of Palador. So
I mean no disrespect, but the trail is getting colder.
We need to go.
We need to leave right now.
where would you like to start investigating?
So where they initially said he left, I suppose.
Yeah, so they were headed towards the southern gate.
Can I ask the knight? What's gone out of my brain?
The
guy
harvest
we were
guard,
talking to.
Merrick.
Merrick, yeah. Can I ask him for a lantern?
Yeah. I mean, if you guys don't have things like lanterns, he'll lend you his. He asks obviously that you return it, but yeah, he can lend you a lantern.
Dancing lights.
Yeah, if you've got your own light sources, you can use those. I mean, generally, like all of the buildings have torches, so it's not like you're running around in pitch dark. But if you want to look for things like footprints, then yeah, you're going to need something like a lantern or dancing lights or something.
I will also take
Okay,
one as well.
so what's your process here? Are you looking? What are you looking for? Tracks? Are you looking for like clues? What's the process here? Are you going to ask witnesses?
The only thing I'm going to do roleplay wise
Okay.
is kneel next to the bodies and say, "I'm sorry, we failed you. We'll make it right, and we will find valor."
You can see that their eyes have been closed, probably by Rosalina, who was the first one here, and they're just kind of clutched onto each other. Like I said, you can see this trail where Yusuf obviously crawled over to Corin's body, and then they basically seem like they passed away together. But yeah, you kneel down. There's no response, just cold silence of death.
So I hope you're at peace with Sieska in the cradle now, or whatever the belief system is.
Yeah. It's generally this is a general thing. This applies to pretty much. It doesn't matter whether you're a worshipper of whatever god you're a worshipper of. The general kind of afterlife belief for the Aerosian Church is that those who die are guided beyond the cradle to the afterlife by Siaska's daughter, Kelara, who basically inherited her mother's responsibilities. And she comes down and she uses a lantern to reveal a secret entrance beyond the cradle and leads the dead spirits into the afterlife, which is a paradise. It's a kind of heaven paradise.
I'd probably say make Kalara guide you beyond the cradle.
That's kind of a common say's, is like Kelara guides you and stuff.
There we go. I'll say that. Have
Okay.
a single tear, wipe it with the silk gloves,
Nice. And then carry on.
but try and keeping prim and proper.
Yeah. Like this is different to like when you fought enemies. This is people that you knew that are now have been kind of torn apart. Looking at the bodies. Actually, give me a perception check.
I'm gonna try and not look at them that much.
Okay, all right.
I
In
can
that
do it
case,
with
yeah.
disadvantage.
Yeah, sure. Give me it with disadvantage.
3.
Yeah, you're actively not looking at the body, so you don't notice anything about the wounds.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think outside of that, Quill is like not timid anymore.
Yeah,
And
you're
he just, like, stands
action
up-
Quill now.
He stands up in front of like the crowd of people.
Yeah,
and it
there's a
just
lot of
says,
people who are like murmuring and whispering and.
Anyone that saw the person that attacked these people, we have no time to waste. Do not waste my time. Who saw him and where did he go?
Give me an intimidate check with advantage.
Nice.
15 plus 2, 17.
17. Yeah, there is a murmur, and you can see a few people are going to step forward, but seeing this determined look in your eye, they kind of shrink back. The person who steps forward is Reld, the waitress from the thing. She kind of like nervously steps forward, kind of keeping the kind of burned side of her face away from the crowd, and she looks up. She's like, I saw him, Mr. Quill.
Okay, and it was a 7-foot tall man.
She like nods. He ran past the window outside the tavern after Rosalina went out. He was headed towards the south gate, but I saw him step into the shadow of an alleyway, and he just vanished. Like he moved through the shadows somewhere else.
Okay.
He was 7 feet tall, grey skin, tattoos. He had valor over his shoulder. It looked like maybe he had some bruises, like scorch marks on his arms, like he'd been hit by something.
Probably defensive.
He had a spiked chain, like a long coil of chain with a blade, a bloody blade at the end of it. She looks at you. I don't think he was going to the south gate. I think he was going towards the shadows. It was a weird way that he was going.
And the shadows in Rosehall? What do you mean?
Yeah, like as in like between the buildings, like where like obviously the moonlight and the torchlight creates these elongated shadows. He stepped into it and like he dived underwater or something like that. He just vanished.
Okay, in that case, I'll turn around to the guards and say, anyone that has a torch into the alleyways and into the shadows, you might find him there.
Merrick's like, you heard the man? And yeah, they start pulling out torches and lanterns. And they're you can see, before you gave that order, the Harvest Guard are going around the town in a big group. And you can see that they're all armed. They've all got armor. They've got scythes or like pitchforks, blades, hatchets. There's the big guy with the dire boar is like sniffing around and like using it like a tracking hound. And they're actively pursuing, but you can now see that they pull out light sources and they're checking all the shadowy alleyways and things like that.
Okay.
What does this mean?
What do you mean, what does this mean?
People just don't dive into shadows and disappear.
Cool of shadows. Could I make an Arcana check to see if I know the kind of spell or like?
Yeah, you can give me an Arcana check.
They are called Court of Shadows. They're the ones pursuing
20.
in the first place.
Was that natural
It's
20?
unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20. You don't think it was necessarily a specific spell. However, given Nova's background, there are individuals reported across Aerois from different backgrounds, different races, that have been born with unnatural abilities to blend with shadows and to jump through shadows like a teleportation. They can enter one shadow and then appear in a different shadow 30, 60 feet away. These people tend to be very disturbed. They're always said to possess a madness, often turning to violence. It's generally seen as a bit of a sort of magical curse or a disease, but it gives them these supernatural abilities to merge with shadows or travel through shadows. Yeah.
I might know something. I read something once. I know Nova reads things. There are individuals and they're born with this ability. People see it as a curse because it makes them mad. They can use shadows to teleport.
To teleport?
Yeah.
From
From
how far?
I don't know. I've never seen one. They teleport. I don't know how far. I don't know how we could track him. If he's using shadows to teleport, he could be anywhere.
But he will have left a trace. Wherever he teleported from and to, there must be something we can follow.
You can give me an intelligence check if you want, Quill.
That's off the table. Wow, that's low. Very low.
Yeah, okay. Don't worry about it then.
3.
Yeah, just
Best we can do is go to his last spot where Reld saw.
Okay. We'll head there. We'll see what we can find there.
Yeah. Okay, so you head on over, and Quill, you even in the low light, you have no trouble following the tracks. Rosehall has muddy ground. It doesn't have like streets. It's all just dirt paths, and you can see large, bloodied footprints follow off into a shadow. Like they're diminishing. The blood diminishes as it goes on, but it seems to just stop in the shadows of this like tucked between two houses and just vanishes.
Okay, and if we carry on through to the other side.
If you carry on through to the other side, there's the alleyway is quite short, and as you come up to the other alleyway, with your passive perception, you notice that the other buildings towards the southern gate are quite well lit. The nearest big section of shadow is near the north gate.
Okay, is there a trail that begins again?
So if you move up towards that and like head over to the nearest big section of shadow, you do see a small trail, hits another patch of shadow, vanishes again. So you begin this pattern of you're actually kind of like, okay, if he jumps into shadow here, you estimate that his range is about 30 to 40 feet. So you start looking for the next big patch of shadow between the buildings. And you begin plotting out a vague distance that he was obviously headed in. Mm-hmm. It leads you to the north gate. And you can see that a few guards are posted there now, but they're generally looking around. And as you get there, what do you want to do once you reach this north gate?
It's quite late now as well, isn't
Yes,
it?
it's
So
like
everywhere is a shadow.
9:30. Yeah, it's dark everywhere.
We use the pig to sniff. If this guy's got blood on him.
Well, I mean, we could take
Yeah.
the ball with us, I suppose.
Well, the fellow who the boar is his pet will go with you.
Okay. Is the
His name
guard?
is Dale. The fellow who has the boar.
Is the captain with us,
A
Merrick?
blood scent.
I've been trying to all night, This fella, whoever he is, his blood's weird. It doesn't have scent as much. A lot of the
blood?
No, a lot of the blood belongs to the two who died. Must be dripping off of his weapon, but there was some unusual blood, dark in color. Doesn't seem to have much of a scent though.
Can we use the other blood then?
Well, that just seems to dry up near the north gate. But I can have a look. I can ask Winston to sniff around and see if we can get a track on something.
It's better than nothing. We're running out of time.
Do you have anything of the girls, maybe? Anything that she might clothing or anything like that?
She touched my sword.
Did we take the daggers back?
Yeah, I think I gave her one back.
You didn't really look around the scene, so.
I don't think we do.
No, I gave her the dagger back.
No. Either way, this is where he was leaving. This is where the trail leads us to.
Let's start a look around here. Y'all can help me. Have a look around. See if you can find, especially near the trees, see if there's any snags of cloth or any cuts or anything like that.
Can you inform the other guards
Yep.
that if you see a huge purple blast anywhere, that's probably where she is.
Will do. All right. He sends word back.
As for him moving through shadows, surely that would use up a lot of his power, so he can't be doing that constantly.
I guess.
I can do this constantly, and I'm going to create dancing lights.
It could be a cantrip.
I mean, that's light. He's teleporting from one place.
There are people
the
with
next.
such powers, I don't know. It could be beyond us.
Yeah, but I can Eldritch Blast as a cantrip. I can give you Frostbite. I can make Green Flame Blade. I can spare the dying. I can toll the dead. And it's all a cantrip. He can do it.
Either way, this is something he's done after killing 2 people and
Yeah.
kidnapping a already very powerful girl. He must be weak by now.
So what's the plan? So you're currently at this north gate.
I think, is Merrick with us?
Merrick can be with you if you send word for him.
What about Arvel?
Arvel, yeah. Arvel, you kind of in the commotion of seeing the bodies, you didn't really keep track of Arvel.
He's dead too.
He was alive with you when you last saw him.
But now
But you
he's dead.
think that he might have still been at the bodies? Like, when you were kind of saying goodbye, you vaguely remember him moving up to them, and then you kind of all rushed off to try and find Valor. So you don't know. But he's probably
Probably taking
back
a bit
there.
harder
Yeah, he's
than
probably back there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think I would be telling Merrick to gather as many men as he can to send out from the north gate forwards. So
All
they
right.
can look for
That's where
any-
you think that they've gone?
Well, it's almost definitely where he's gone. It's where the trail has led. If you can send anyone out as wide an arc as possible to find any trail possible.
I can try, but we don't have a lot. We don't have a lot of men here. I mean, I've got 8 people, and I'll need some of them positioned on the gates in case. I mean, I'm sorry. I understand that you've lost some friends, but if the wild elves or a monster decides to attack, I need people here still. I'm more than happy to come with you. Dale here and Winston, we can use them to track as at least for a ways out of town. But
Well,
I'll have them continue searching. But I just can't. I can't send them too far from Rosehall. I'm sorry.
well, you're probably right anyway. We need to keep people back to keep the people in check as well.
There's probably going to be a few questions being asked. Maybe this is me being paranoid. Why were you at Brett Brookstones this evening?
He invited us for dinner.
All right. Okay.
He said that because we set up this charity, he wanted to invite us for dinner.
All right. Okay. Just. I mean, Brett wouldn't. I don't think even Brett Brookstone would do anything like this. This is horrific. We've never had something like this ever happen before. But it just seemed a bit peculiar that he invited you. That's all.
The trouble you've had with Brett has been
Inconsequential compared to this. It's
exactly.
It's been about money.
yes. This does not seem to be that.
They have been pursued before.
And that makes things all right. Then that's a most likely cause. Then, if they've got people after them, this is
It's
probably
the cause
what
of
that
our
is.
airship crash and the reason we're here in the first place.
Damn.
Yes.
All right.
They destroyed the... If it's
Well,
the same people,
you assume that that's what they were after. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know if 100% if they were after the Yusuf and Valor and that. They just were on the ship and they attacked you and you don't know why. But if Lucius wants to assume that they were
Lucius
after
is assuming
Yeah.
the Court of Shadows attacked. There's people now jumping through shadows, and they killed the people looking for the ones on the ship.
that were escorting Valor,
So
basically.
you're saying it's the remnant?
Yes. Potentially. There's a 7-foot-tall person with a chain.
Well, then it's not a attack of madness like you were saying. It's
Calculated.
an actual. They want valor for something. So
No, I'm not saying it would have been I'm saying people who are born with this ability are driven mad.
Oh no, I know. I'm just saying.
Maybe they're being utilized too by
Maybe.
this court of shadows, the remnants.
Sounds
Perfect
controlled.
for a thug.
Yes, controlled maybe.
Okay, what's the plan?
We are.
No, go on.
I was gonna. Can I like stay on the north gate? Use my body as kind of like maybe like what's the word? Like a distraction, and just send Echo out and try and have a look around while using my body as like a lure in case.
Give me perception check with advantage for Echo.
Cool.
Using Echo stats.
Oh yeah, where is he?
I think he's got like a +3 or 4 bonus, I think.
Where? Open my book of dreams.
Echo theme tune.
So with advantage. What's I set highest?
Not Vitas.
16,
What's his perception bonus?
19.
19. Okay. So you send Echo out, and you send him out a far distance along the road, and you can see that the North Road follows the Iron Weald. It follows the forest quite a ways. About 60 feet from the North Gate, deep into the Iron Weald, you notice that there is ropes and what looks like some horse feeding bags, probably enough for about 4 horses that were stationed nearby, and you can see fresh tracks of those horses leading down the North Gate at a pretty rapid pace.
Okay.
And Echo picks up on those, sees those.
Okay, I'll send Echo back. Be like, there are horses about 60 feet down the road.
What, horse is still there? Or?
No, they've gone. But there are feeding bags. There's enough there for a group.
A group?
Yeah.
Well, I think we need to get ourselves some horses. I think we might be leaving Rosehall.
We need to stay valor. Yes.
In that case,
Should we ask Arvel to come with us?
Arvel! Where's Arvel?
I think I saw him with the bodies.
I mean, we need to go back and get some horses anyway.
Merrick
Unfortunately,
gestures.
in the stables.
Yes, we need to make chase, Merrick.
There's a stables here. Unfortunately, it's not under. It's privately owned. I can't just give you the horses, but you can ask the person who runs it if they'll give them to you or lend them to you at least. I just need to remember their name. It is.
It's a big town.
The tag keeper there is a half elf called Taman. He loves his horses, but yeah, if you go and speak to him, see what he can do.
Thank you.
It's just it's not far from here. He just points down away from the North Gate. Whoops.
Well, how about some of us go and get Arvel, and some of us get the horses?
Right.
Yeah.
Fine.
He's probably with the bodies.
Okay. Who's going where?
I'll go get Arvel.
I've
Okay,
got the money.
Arvel.
I'll go for the horses.
Horses.
I will go back for Arvel as well.
Arvel. So you two horse team.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arvel team. Okay.
These guys don't want to go back to the bodies, I imagine.
You two make your way back to the stables outside the Brazen Heart, and you can see Rosalina is distraught. She's crying on the back step. Reld is kind of with her, and you can see her just sobbing away. Arvel is with her, and you can see that he's kind of just. He's got his little hat that he bought with the Nova and Sentry's money, his little tunic, and he's got Evangeline locked and loaded. He's got his crossbow bolts, he's got his backpack, and in his hands he has Yusef's holy symbol.
Okay.
He
That's right.
You see him. He puts like a hand on Rosalina's shoulder, kind of like mutters something to her, and she just kind of is like waves it, and you can see her kind of like half smiling. She just waves her hand. He just kind of nods and turns around. He's like, "Oh, there you are."
Arvel, you ready to use that thing?
He kind of gives you a really hard look. Sure am.
Then let's go.
Let's go.
Can I like give Rosalina a hug and like pat?
Yeah, you kind of lean down, this tiny halfling woman, and she kind of like buries her like soft face, her big thick hair. You can feel it kind of tickling along your faceplate. And yeah, you can see that she's like wiping the tears away, and she's just like, "I'm so sorry. I thought I tried to help them, but they had already gone by the time I emerged. And Sayana, oh, to think that this could happen in my stables." And she's, you can see her just kind of like, calming herself down. I'm so sorry. And she just keeps kind of.
No, don't apologise. I should have been here. I failed again. I can't believe it.
No. nothing you could have done. There's nothing. No one knew that such a tragedy would happen. I hope that you find whoever did this.
We will try our best. And Reld, thank you so much for helping us. I pat her on the shoulder and be like,
She
"You're
kind
a
of
brave girl."
nods and kind of keeps her face aside, and she just nods. There's almost like an emotional deadness. Like she doesn't seem upset, just a little bit shocked. But Arvel just kind of gives you a nod, turns back to Rosalina. I'll send that money when I get back to Gold Throne.
Yeah,
Just gives you a nod.
let's go. Let's go.
Cocks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little angry dwarf with his little Stetson.
And behind him,
He's basically wearing, he doesn't have any armor. He's got like a leather waistcoat and a cowboy hat and a crossbow and a little backpack, and that's it. Okay, so the stables, when you approach, there is a kind of bewildered looking half-elf young guy, like maybe 18, 19. And you can see that in the stables there are 2 horses missing, but there are about 6 others, all different breeds, different ages, and he's just kind of soothing them, like, because there's a lot of noise and commotion going on around the town. And he looks over, he's like, "Oh, hi.
Hi, we need horses, really fast. Please, 5 horses, how much?
Well," he kind of looks you over, he's like, "I've heard about some stuff going on in town. Listen, I mean, do you even know how to ride?"
I can learn. I read about it in a book once, please.
He kind of
Please,
gives
we
you a
need them.
nod.
But, do you know what happened?
I've been hearing a lot about some folks that came into
friends.
town being killed.
They were murdered.
Sorry to hear
we
that.
picked up a trail, and a trail leads to other horses. We need horses to catch up with them. They've taken our friend. They've taken a girl.
Other horses?
Yeah.
How many?
4. Or so.
Maybe. Yeah, all right, okay. Well, I mean, I can rent you the horses, but I don't like renting them out to people who don't know how to ride. Horses get hurt that way.
Can a horse take 2 people?
Yeah, some of the big ones can. Yeah, sure.
Then my friends know how to ride. I can go with them.
Okay, give me a persuasion check. Lucius, if you want to help, you can. If you can jump in and say something if you want.
We really need them.
Make a persuasion check. If you get above a certain DC, I'll give
Natural
a
1.
bonus.
We need murder.
11.
Horses.
He looks at you. He's like, "Look, I get that you're in a rush and you're upset. I'll rent you the horses, but you gotta pay more, because if you hurt them, I've got."
How much?
He looks down, checks his fucking catalog. Where are you going? Where are you taking them?
As far as it takes.
Well, all right. Well, then I'll rent them to you as if you're going to Gold Throne. You have to leave them at the stables in Gold Throne. All right?
Okay.
All right. Well, then in that case, it's 25 gold a horse.
Okay.
So if you take 4, that's 100 gold.
Fine. Bleh. Yep. I'll just dig out the money, throw it at him.
All right. I'll pack them up with their own feed.
throw individual coins at him.
What?
Money!
All right. It will take me about. I'll need about 10 minutes or so to get them ready. I'll need to get them harnessed up. I'll pack their bags with some feed. You got to make sure you rest them and water them. And once you get to Gold Throne, you have to make sure you leave them at the stables.
Okay.
All right?
I'm literally noting this all down on my notes.
He also, he's like, what are your names?
I'm Nova Viger.
Yours?
Lucius Viren Elenaster.
And he begins writing descriptions of you both. All right, I got a record now. If you don't leave these horses at Gold Throne, or if they're injured or they're sick, I'll be sending Harvest Guard to come after you, all right?
I promise we will treat them with the utmost care.
All right, okay. I'll get them ready.
Thank you very much.
I'll leave them, where, are you going out the north gate?
Yeah.
I'll bring them there.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. By the time you get back, do you guys want to grab any supplies? Is there anything last minute you want to do before you start heading off?
I want to reload my Thunderstone pistol.
Okay. Yep, it's done.
Me and Arvel walking down the road.
Yeah. Arvel's like looking at you do that. He's like, Quill, give that here.
What?
You just give it here.
I felt really cool for a second then.
It's like, and you can see with kind of practiced skill, he's actually reloading it. And he kind of looks at it, he's like, if we get more time, I'll see if I can find a way to make this so you can reload it easier with
Well, that would be very useful, actually.
Me and Nova can probably figure something out.
I'll go buy
Awesome.
the
Yay, Nova.
brazen arm
Okay.
and ask Reld. I'm so sorry. This is really
What do you need?
inopportune time, but it's likely we're not going to come back to this town for a little while. Potentially going to Gold Throne. Is there any small foods or rations that we can take?
She like looks over and Rosalina's just still crying, like waves a hand. She's like, Reld is like, all right, no. Rosalina's like, no, friend, no, it's fine. Reld, go get them packs, make them packs. And she heads in, and Reld emerges a bit later on. And it's things like, salamis, dried breads, hard cheeses wrapped up in wax paper. Basically, there's probably enough, I would say, like 2 days worth of rations for 4 of you, 5 of you, including Narvel. And yeah, she just gives those to you.
Thank you so much.
But it's 2 days each. Any other rations you had, by the way, are probably gone off by now. So just clear your rations. You've each got 2 days worth of rations.
Okay.
So also note who has water skins.
I don't have any. Still don't have any.
Well, you don't need one, so you're fine. Okay. So you get the horses. You all emerge back. Arvel can ride. He knows how to ride, so he'll take Nova. The rest of you, do any of you have training in animal handling?
I have +2.
Training in animal. Do you mean?
Yeah, proficiency, sorry.
Oh, I have +3. I don't have proficiency.
Nope.
Okay, so for you guys, you're kind of unpracticed riders. It makes sense that Lucius, you've probably never ridden a horse before. Quill and Sentry, you probably have, but it's been a long time. So,
I normally fly, I suppose.
well, I suppose you would have done, yeah. But I'm guessing you've travelled a bit since you lost the wing. Oh no, you lost the wing and then immediately this has all happened.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much.
All right,
yeah.
in that case, what I need is all of you guys to make animal handling checks. Arvel doesn't need to because he's trained in riding horses.
Do you want me
Nope,
to? No.
nope.
10.
You're on the biggest horse, basically. You and Arvel are on the
17.
strongest one. 17?
15.
15?
10.
10. Okay, 10's enough. 10's enough to basically get it to a thing. The next question I have is you make your way out of the city and you can see the moon is above, the stars are above, and you are just rushing out. It's been a long day, but kind of fueled on this adrenaline of trying to track down and rescue Valor. You make your way out.
Freshly fed.
Freshly fed.
Okay.
How, are you going to ride these horses hard and occasionally just stop to check for tracks and things like that?
I mean, I think I probably would have asked Lucius to constantly have the dancing lights ahead of us, and we'd all have lanterns as well. So the entire park.
And then you're basically you'll just occasionally stop,
Yeah.
check for tracks, and then just carry on going.
Yeah, but I guess anytime we spot tracks, we would then hard
Reassess.
go towards the next
Okay.
place.
All right.
So they stop again. Or get
Okay.
difficult.
So, Quill, I'm guessing you're going to be the most adept at spotting the tracks. So
with a natural 20 on
you've got a
perception.
passive perception.
Yeah.
So you're kind of keeping an eye. You ride pretty much for the entire first day. You ride,
Wow.
you follow the tracks. You get the sense that they are probably a few hours, maybe 2-3 hours ahead of you, and they are keeping the same pace. They have gone at a full gallop. They are not stopping.
Shit.
Damn.
So you're about 2-3 hours behind them, and you keep pace. Your horses are all fine. You've made checks where you're not stumbling or anything like that. You all manage to ride throughout the whole day. You have to take brief rest stops so the horses can rest, but otherwise you just carry on going.
Yeah.
The tracks are pretty easy to follow at this point. Whoever they are riding so hard and so fast, they don't have time to cover their tracks. They're just bombing it as fast as they can.
Well, I guess they think they also.
At the end of the first day, the horse tracks stop. They stop at the edge of the Iron Weald, and it looks like they let the horses go, and they have now moved into the Iron Weald forest itself.
Cool.
What do we do? What do we do? We can't abandon these horses.
No.
They just seem to have just let them go. You take them with us? Station them here?
Is there any sort of paddock or fencing or no? It's pretty wild. Here.
Roll a d20 for me. Let's see if you get above a 15.
Oh, it was so close to an 18 and it came out as a 4.
No. So you look around, it's open, hilled grassland.
Oh, if only that was a spin down dice.
Arvel kind of looks. He's like, I can take the horses. There's a town not far from here, Ironwick. It's another 2 days. It's probably a day and a half ride. I can take the horses there. You go into the forest.
Do I know anything about the forest?
You can make give me a nature check. Anybody can do this.
Super high. 19 plus
Wow.
5.
1, so unnatural 20.
Trees.
18.
Okay.
10.
Okay, so Nova and Quill. Yeah, you know a little bit about the Iron Weald. It's a forest that has dominated most of southern Suvona, and it's kind of nestled in the shadow of the Auric Mountains. It's quite hilly, it's quite dense, and it's famous. It's given the name because there are large iron deposits all throughout it in the hills, and a lot of people set up mines or they kind of get resources from it. It is known for being, it has a lot of monsters, a lot of bandits hide in it. There's old ruins. There's tons of places kind of lost and kind of covered up by time. Definitely something where moving through it will be slower going. You'll need to be a bit more careful. You can move at a faster pace, but doing so means basically... Monsters. Yeah, like, it just means that you won't be as cautious. Like, you'll have, like, penalties to, like, checking where you're going, making sure you're not getting lost, that sort of thing. But yeah, there's monsters, and there are bandits, and ruins, and all sorts of things you can find in it. Notably, one of the things it's most famous for is iron-wheeled spiders, which are spiders that have iron. They've kind of evolved where the iron has become part of their carapace and their skin, making them very hard to injure.
That's fine.
Was there no hard route? Because isn't this where the mines were?
The mines are closer to Rosehall. You've ridden a day away from Rosehall, but the iron weald stretches all up the iron. Basically, the iron weald goes from Rosehall to Goldthrone nearly.
And comparatively to the Bitterwood, how big is this place?
The Bitterwood is huge. You were in a very small part of the Bitterwood. You were in like where it's most thin. The Bitterwood stretches out massively to the east. The Bitterwood took you a day to get through. If you go into the Iron Weald now, to get to the river between it and Goldthrone will take you about 2 days.
Ugh, I mean, okay.
But it looks like this is where they've gone. It looks like they've let the horses go, and they're now using the forest to try and hide their tracks.
Do you know the Iron-Willed Arvel?
Arvel looks, he's like, again, I was trading. I mostly spent my time on the road with guards and wagons, that sort of thing. That's why I know about Rosehall and Ironwick. Ironwick's a tiny little town on the edge of the lake. Not much there, but...
What time is it now?
It's morning of the second day.
Okay. Well, I mean, we all saw the spider that Brett showed us. Well, I say showed us, more displayed.
I can speak with animals.
You can...
Maybe I could tell the horses to go back.
That sounds pretty amazing if you can do it.
Will they listen to you?
Try it.
Do you listen to me?
I can speak common.
But do you listen to me?
Sometimes.
We've got no time.
No time.
Arvel will dismount.
Let me try, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you casting a spell, or is this
I think it's a spell. It's in my ritual book.
Okay.
The tome.
Okay. Oh, you picked it as one of your ritual spells, so it'll take you 10 minutes to cast.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
In that case, could we make, during those 10 minutes, could we have, like, not going super far away, obviously, but, like, just a cursory glance around to see what sort of tracks we would be looking for in the future?
Yeah. I mean, you can see that with just your passive perception for now. When you get into the Iron Wields, you're probably going to have to make more active checks.
Yep.
But for now, you can see that it's boot prints. You can see that they're obviously hacking away to, like, make their travel through the Iron Wield easier. There is also, you just like little bits, like broken branches, something like mushrooms crushed underfoot, like classic rangery kind of tracks, you know, like...
How many boot prints?
There's 4 humanoids.
Crap.
One of whom is large.
Times 4.
So you can't speak with animals, Nova. Takes about 10 minutes. And you kind of look at these horses.
Can I speak? I guess I speak to all of them. Good day.
Hello. Hello. Hi. Hello.
Thank you for getting us Thank you for getting us so far and so fast.
You are welcome. Is food?
In a second. We have to go into the woods now.
Oh, wood's scary.
Yeah. Would you be okay to go back to the stables?
Back home?
Yeah. Do you know the way?
You ride?
No, on your own.
Oh. No way. Yes. Travel road all the time. Easy road.
So you know how
We like it.
You know how to get back home
Yes.
to the halfling that was looking after you.
Tammin.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Like Tammin.
We're looking at Nova, and she's just stood there, just like...
Talking to these horses.
I just wanted to
She's
like,
talking normally,
Yeah.
but these horses are just like looking at her like,
This is fun.
They're kind of moving their mouths like they're chewing, but Nova can hear this voice coming
I
out.
see.
Can you just point yourself in the direction of Rosehall, of home?
They turn around and face back there,
I think it's working.
I think, yeah.
and then they turn
Amazing.
back and look at you.
Are you okay to go home then?
Go home.
Yes.
Climb aboard.
No, without us.
Without
Yes.
Ryder, though.
We have to go into the woods.
Give me an animal handling check.
Oh God, no. Please, no.
Will
She's just talking
you
common,
not
like.
benefit the situation?
Somehow, using magic,
Bardic
I'm playing Lucius
pep talk.
or guidance.
Nova, we really need the horses to go back so we can take Arvel with us.
I know.
That's kind of a bardic
Yeah,
inspiration.
sure. Yeah, just give her a d6.
Bam.
You impart the importance of the task.
Oh.
Pretty bad. It's a pretty bad roll.
It's a 4.
Okay.
What? You got
Six.
-2 on animal handling.
5 minus 1 is a 4.
Minus
It's a
1.
5. It's a
They like
5.
look at you. Okay.
Are you sure?
I am horse. Food? Hungry.
Nova, how's it going?
I'm really not convinced. They seem to understand where home is and where their owner is, but I'm not really confident.
I can do it as well.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
You can't speak with animals.
I can do it
Okay.
as well, yeah.
So you approach these horses.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Mare is like, hello. It's like
Hello.
battering its big eyes.
Nice to meet you. Yeah, like my friend Nova was
Food?
saying. No, not at the moment, no. But
Okay.
like my friend was saying, we need you to go back to Rosehall. That'll be brilliant. Thank
Tammin,
you. Yes,
Stable.
yes, please, yeah.
you come?
No. We need you to go by yourselves.
Oh. Give me an animal handling check.
Yeah. 20 natural.
Oh,
20.
nice. Oh. Okay. Home.
Yes, please. Yeah, back to Rosehall.
Okay.
You sure you can do it?
Bye. Bye,
I'm
Guardian.
gonna really
Goodbye.
quickly write
Goodbye.
a note. Can I write
And all
a note?
4 of them just start trotting off like slow paced,
I guess I
heading
don't
back
have
down
time
the
to write a
road.
note. Like,
You can
Yeah.
run up and like shove it in like their saddlebags.
Just a really quick note, like, dear Tammin, have horses. Sorry we couldn't bring them back. Nova.
Okay, yeah, and you just shove it in their saddlebags and they just trot back. Let's hope they don't get attacked or
Oh
stolen.
God!
Oh, you mean
So-
by the people that are plaguing the North Road?
Arvel is just like readies the crossbow, slings it over his back.
It's the best we
Alright.
can do.
Let's get ready.
Good job, team. I didn't know you could
Okay.
do that.
So
The
you,
mission's not done yet.
what do you want to do? You heading in now?
We will head in
Yeah.
and we'll
Okay,
follow
right.
those tracks.
So
I don't want to go into it.
every day that you travel through this wood, you need to tell me a couple of things. The first one is what travel pace are you going? You can go at a slow pace, which will let you move stealthily, and it will give you bonuses to spotting dangers or tracks. You can move at a normal pace, which you don't have any penalties, but you don't gain any benefits, and you can't stealth. Or you can move at fast paced, which is obviously the quickest, but you will have penalties to spotting dangers and ambushes.
Based on the tracks, they're just hacking away through the wood,
It is
stomping their way
difficult to
through.
tell. I would say, with your passive perception at this point, you think that they are moving at a normal pace.
Okay.
Probably don't think that people are after them at this point.
If they're going normal, and we go fast,
But
You would catch them, catch
But-
up on them.
They could
They
leave-
have a slight lead on you,
They
but
could
yeah.
leave traps and whatnot.
What do you guys want to do? It's the first decision you got to make.
Leader, what do we do?
Leader,
oh, I mean, I want to catch up to them.
then it sounds like you want to go at a
I'm
fast
useless
pace. You're
in
going to
the
set the
wilderness.
fast pace.
I mean, we've been in the wilderness before. This
and
is
I was
just,
useless.
You weren't totally useless.
We got robbed.
You did get robbed, but there's no one here to rob us, I don't think. Anyway, unless spiders want your goods.
Probably.
Nova, we gotta move.
We
They
have
get
to
away
back.
from us, we ain't gonna see that girl
It'll
again.
be all for
I know,
nothing.
I'm
You're
just
right.
saying I'm very noisy.
Me too.
Me too,
Then-
don't worry.
Maybe then even better that we go fast. If we can't be quiet, let's go fast.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll catch them unawares that way.
Okay, you lead the way, Arvel.
Well, Quill,
I'll lead the way
He's got
with
the
Arvel. How are you in this sort of environment, by the way?
don't worry about me.
I won't then.
Okay.
So fast pace.
Fast pace.
Right, the next thing is one of you. Now, you can include Arvel in this so that one of you doesn't have a role. There are 4 roles: a navigator, a lookout, a vanguard, and a rear guard. The navigator makes survival checks to make sure you don't get lost. The lookout makes perception checks to spot ambushes and hidden features.
No, wait, whoa, I'm that guy.
Okay.
The vanguard makes it basically clears the path. Is responsible for like hacking stuff away, clearing the path. The rear guard will basically help determine the overall readiness of the group.
I'm so bad at all of these.
I can do either the lookout or the
One of you can only do one role.
Navigator.
navigator. I can do either. I'm actually proficient in both of them.
Well, tell me who's doing what. Navigator.
I am not a survivalist, so I think I should be lookout with my perception.
I will be looking for traps and
minus
making
one
sure
is
we don't get
all of
lost.
these.
You're navigating.
I'm navigator.
All right, so Quill's the navigator, Lucius is the lookout.
So you're doing survival checks, right?
Yeah.
Sentry, do you want to be vanguard?
Please. Yes, please.
Can Arvel be the rear guard?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then that leaves you doing nothing.
Well, I guess you're
making
free.
notes.
Trying not to be loud.
Okay.
I think you're
so
free to do whatever, like to assist anyone.
Can I maybe like
anything.
write a map or
Would you
something?
like? Who would you like to assist? Lucius. Okay. So in that case, can you make a perception check for me, Nova?
Nice.
But this is helping his.
Potentially, make a perception check for me. If you get over a certain DC, you'll give a bonus.
4.
Nothing. You're trying to help, but you don't actually offer anything productive.
Nova!
Quill, make a
want to
survival
feature
check for me,
going
please.
Oh, that's mega.
Try and like
Play.
actually roll it where it's not going to get cocked.
Lucius.
14.
14. Lucius, make a perception check for
I
me.
left my coat at the Brookstone manor.
What?
You left your what?
My coat.
You did.
Oh, you did.
I was just imitating tugging on his coat, but unless you picked it up.
Oh
Yep, it's
no!
gone. Perception check, please.
Bullshit.
The harsh
Covered in
rules
gems
of the
as
lowlands.
well.
Okay. 17.
Okay, Sentry,
Yeah, hard.
make an athletics or nature check. It's up to you.
Athletic.
Oh, I could have done nature.
Well,
What?
you thought
That was
you
one
were
of the
useless.
options.
11.
He didn't
11.
say nature.
And then Arvel will make an initiative check to determine your overall readiness.
Okay. And everyone has to roll initiative now. What?
Wow.
Spiders.
Wow. Okay.
Is that Owen
So,
Wilson?
Wow.
so there are a couple of things. The first is, as you're making your way through, Quill, you managed to keep rough track. You're following the tracks. You managed to keep the team on a path. You don't feel you've gotten lost. Lucius, you are keeping a close eye out for any ambushes, for any monsters, any hidden features, like anything that might be of interest. Sentry, you're hacking your way through, you're clearing an easy path for the rest of them.
Nice.
The only problem is Arvel seems very distracted. Like he's so focused that he's actually not keeping an awareness. You get the sense that he's kind of really he's kind of upset by what's happened and he's angry.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens. Oh no, it's a D10. Sorry, I need to roll
Come
a
on, Arvel.
D10 first.
Spiders.
Punch them.
In fact, actually no. We'll have Quill. You're leading the group. You can roll a D10 for me, please.
A D10.
Tell me if you get a 7 or higher.
7 or higher.
Yep.
Christ.
2.
Okay. Next, do it again.
9.
Okay. Okay. So the morning of the travel, you make your way through the Iron Wheel. These tall, sturdy trees kind of surround you, and you find yourself going deeper and deeper into the woods. The hills rise up, and the trek becomes quite exhausting. You stop, have some of your supplies for the day, fresh water. There's no springs or anything like that. Whatever water you have, you probably have enough. You've already used 1 day's worth of rations for the previous day of travel, so you currently have 1 day's worth of rations left. You break out, unless you want to try rationing them,
Rationing rations?
you can try.
At this point, yes.
Okay,
From this one ration, I think I'd
worth noting.
out.
Okay, so
It's like using loads of toothpaste and then right at the
Yeah.
end, you
you're
start,
squeezing
like,
it out. Okay. The Iron Wheel is a quiet wood. There isn't a lot of animals moving around. The plants are strange. Many of the plants and trees have a silvery metallic hue in their roots or in their plants, their leaves. They're almost brittle, like iron flakes, as they snap off and crunch underneath. The morning goes by without incident. As you go into the evening, Lucius, you spot, before you are within range of them hearing you, you spot a camp, a small fire up ahead. There are tents. It looks more permanent than what you would expect from your quarry. But you can see 4 figures, all with animalistic-like traits. Most of them have stag horns coming out of heads with large, unkempt hair. They wear hides and rough leathers, kind of woodsman clothing. And they're sat around enjoying a meal around a campfire. They have not spotted any of you yet.
Put out the lanterns. I'm going to snuff out my dancing lights.
Okay. Arvel shuts off his lantern. Yeah, this is nighttime. This is about like 7, 8, 9 o'clock.
Put out the lanterns.
Done.
Yep. It's pitch black. Anybody who does not have dark vision will find it hard to move around.
Okay.
But you can see in the distance this crackling fire just illuminating a slight glow.
If you can't see anything, just grab onto me. I can see.
That's almost all of us.
I'll grab
Everybody
you.
grab me.
Yeah, Nova is I think the only one
I'll
that
take
can't.
the lead from
Oh, and Sentry,
I
but you
can't.
can use Echo.
Yeah.
But you kind of have to like hold on to Echo as you move.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll grab your arm.
I will grab onto the back of Sentry, who is
Just
grabbing
try
onto
and guide
Echo.
it. Okay. Oh, do you not have dark vision?
No.
Okay.
I don't know why I don't.
Arvel like takes you both and is like, come on, just hold on to me.
Oh, he can
He's
as
a
well,
dwarf.
of course.
Okay. And then what? Do you want to try and stealthily approach, or are you going to avoid them? You can hear them talking, like with your enhanced hearing, and Quill, you pick up on this now. They sound like a bunch of woods folk chatting about hunt that they've recently performed, and you recognize them as beast walkers. These are a strange people that Telecus, the god of nature, kind of birthed after the Sundering. They are people that have animalistic traits, and you can see that these now they have. The women have very short little kind of deer antlers, whereas the men have these larger stag horns. Their skin is kind of a mottled brown, like a deer's or a stag's hide.
Nova,
You can see they have long bows, hatchets.
Lucius?
do you know anything about these people and would they be hostile?
The only beast walkers you've encountered before is you encountered some in Imixan. They were the baggage thieves. But generally there are people that they're very woodsy. People aren't ever sure how to take them. Some of them can be vicious. Some of them can be quite kind-hearted. They are as fickle as nature and animals themselves.
But I know that they're beast walkers.
You know that they're beast walkers, and looking at them, they all appear to have stag and deer traits. So you kind of like maybe they'd be defensive, but not necessarily aggressive. They're not like wolves or bears or anything like that.
I don't know that they're beast walkers. We met some. They stole our luggage.
If we approach in a certain way where we don't appear hostile,
Passive, I would say.
passive,
I mean, if we're
maybe
going,
just one of us, maybe Birdie, because you're a beast of some kind.
they're stags, and they have stag horns and deer horns.
You wouldn't be a
and
threat,
They're talking about a hunt. I don't think I should go up there.
but they've just finished one, so they don't need anything.
I don't want to be someone's quarry.
Okay, I can go.
Okay.
Passive.
I'll be passive. I'll be very passive.
Pay them if you have to.
I don't look like I belong here, so
All right. Good luck, Lucius.
maybe
We'll be right behind you.
They might have seen the others. I'll go.
Good thinking. Arvel gives you a genuine no, it's good thinking.
Does anyone else want to go? No.
Lucius, you can do it. Just go.
Right. Just making sure. I'll pay you. Okay, I'm going.
Don't pay us. Pay them if you have to.
Right. I'm going to step out.
So you just step out into the light.
Excuse me.
Okay, when you speak, like the two of the men, you can see like one is a young boy, like maybe a teenager, the other's a man. It looks like a family. Now that you kind of step out into the light, it looks like maybe a mother and father, 2 kids. The man pulls out a longbow.
Please don't be
The
alarmed.
boy goes for a hatchet, and you can see the woman beginning to like craft like green vines around her hand.
There's no need for that, I assure you.
Who are you?
No, I'm Lucius Viren Elvin Ananaster, and I'm absolutely out of my depth.
Give me a persuasion with advantage. Because it was very kind of self-deprecating in a sense.
17.
Oh yeah, like, okay, so the older man, like, yeah, you look at friend.
I'm not alone, just so you know. We are on the chase. People in the town that we were just at have been murdered, and we feel like the murderer has come through the Ironweald. And we're looking
eyes
for
you
someone
up.
that's been kidnapped.
He eyes you up and kind of like nods. He's like, well, bring out the rest of your bring out the rest of your family or crew or whatever you are.
We have a working title. But yes, I'll bring about it. We have a birdie.
I come out.
I mean, they're not bothered. Like they know an Aarakocra. They know what an Aarakocra is.
I just mean this is like you're introducing us to a stage show.
So we have birdie. Next up we have guardian.
It's like walk forward with my shield.
Yeah,
up.
so you've got your shield
Yeah.
up in defensive. Like when you come out with a weapon, they are a bit more.
I'm the
jittery.
same as Lucius. I've got like my hand up.
And we have an Aerois Nova.
We're not dangerous.
Right, Arvel kind of comes
And
up
a
behind.
dwarf Arvel.
He's got his crossbow, and again, there's this kind of tenseness in the air. He
No
kind of
one's
nods.
going to hurt anybody. We just want information.
All right. He looks down. He's like, "Boy, come on,
Maybe some water
put those things down."
and some rations.
And he like lowers his bow, and you can see the boy kind of like hooks the hatchets into
Everybody
his
put their
thing.
weapons and whatnot down.
Like the woman's the green vines that she was beginning to like create with magic recede, and she kind of like looks down. He's like, "Well, all right, if you don't mean any harm, come and join us by the fire. I guess it's getting late. You don't want to be.
Lovely.
You shouldn't be out in the Ironweald this time of night. People that aren't used to the woods shouldn't be out here."
Well, we wouldn't
No
if we.
choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, your friend mentioned something about you chasing down some murderer or a girl.
She was kidnapped. She was one of our group, and she was kidnapped.
He kind of nods. He's like, "I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, sit down. I'm Gen. This is my wife, Lila. These are our kids. Yeah, sit down. Have you eaten? Do you need food?
We have this much food left.
Is that all you have for traveling through the forest?
We were in a bit of a
Right,
rush.
save that. Lila, have we got enough?" And she's like, "Yeah, we can find some more." And you can see that they've got like maybe like a couple of like chickens or something like that, or like birds that they've kind of killed and they've been roasting.
Gamey birds.
They've got things like potatoes. Yeah, like they're gonna offer you what they have. They've got like vegetables. They've got like nuts. They begin pouring out like these little wooden bowls and kind of passing them around.
You know what I've been thinking recently? How disgusting I taste.
They also have a leather. They have like a leather water skin that they kind of pass around for you to drink from as well. So you don't need to mark off rations for today.
Wow.
You're so kind.
So we still have 2 left.
You have 1 left.
Oh,
'Cause
one
you
left.
used 1 on the first day, but you don't need to use rations today. That's a very lucky random roll encounter for you guys. Yeah, they just turn around and say like, "Yeah, well, listen, you don't look like you're particularly well suited to the area. You're more than welcome to share our fire for a bit.
We
But-
must keep pursuing. We don't lose them.
You'll need to
stay
rest
too
at some
long.
point." Yeah.
Oh, well, the trail actually came very close to this camp. It was not too far away that we passed here. Did you hear anything? 4 people?
I saw something. This is the older fellow. He's like, "Yeah, I saw something. I was out getting dinner. There was a pretty dangerous-looking fellow with 3 others carrying. Well, I thought it was a sack of something, but it could have been the same size as a human girl. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It's only very small.
yeah, it could have been. Something
very
like that.
sacky.
He looked dangerous. I just watched them. They didn't cause any trouble, so I just let them go.
Was he about 7 foot tall, grey skinned,
He was big. Yeah, looked like
had a chain?
what do they
It's
call
almost
them?
definitely the people.
Lila, Lila, what do they call them? Goliaths, I think. Yeah, one of those.
Oh, a Goliath.
Yeah, I've seen a couple near the bigger bigger cities and towns, but
Yeah, there's a couple
never
in-
one out here.
In Gusthaven.
There was also 2 humans with him, a boy, a girl, and another one. 3 humans with him.
And do they look like the type of people who would come here often?
There was a boy and a girl, older, maybe around 18 or so, maybe around there. They looked pretty practiced. The boy was leading them through the woods, looked like he knew what he was doing. Had a bow, looked like a pretty practiced hunter.
They've recruited them to traverse the Iron Weald.
Do you know what direction they went in?
I can point you in the direction, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Did they have any?
Listen, he looked bad news. Are you sure? I mean, how important is this girl?
Oh, she's one of us.
Yeah.
All
It's
right.
like you'd save a family member.
He like nods. He's like, "All right, listen. If you go out there tonight, something's gonna come after you. I'll take you to a little spot. There's a little grove where me and the family sometimes stay when we're out hunting. You should be safe there."
It's very kind of you. Thank you.
It's all right.
Here, would you like a gold?
He like looks at you, he's like, I'm not going to say no.
There you go.
Were they wearing any
Takes the gold.
sort of uniform or?
I wouldn't say uniform. The boy and the girl were wearing traveler's clothes, like good, rugged, outdoorsy stuff. The other guy with them, I mean, he looked ill-prepared. He had a mining pick and loose tunic, bit of leather, not much. Didn't look like he looked more like a miner than a traveler.
A miner.
We had dinner with a, yes.
The owner of a miner.
That's not the
Yeah.
NPC smiling, that's
Industry.
Mark smiling.
How convenient.
Yes.
A man and a woman.
Well, boy and a girl, really. I mean, I guess a man and a woman. They looked 18.
Were they
I suppose
talking
that's
at all?
old enough. Huh?
Were they talking at all as they travelled, or?
No. The boy was keeping them quiet as they moved.
Okay.
Like I said, he knew what he was doing.
The Goliath that we're...
I mean, they were probably not much. I mean, you might be only like an hour or so behind them.
That's so.
And they would be resting for the night as well, I suppose, if they know their way around.
Yeah.
They're
I don't know
desperate.
where. Like I said, I can take you somewhere safe, but
Well, that would be
We'll take that.
good.
It's no use if we're dead.
True.
all right.
Dead tired.
All right. Well, yeah. Eat up your fill, and then when you're ready, I'll take you to the grove.
Be most gracious, thank you.
It's all right.
Could we repay you for your kindness anyhow?
Yes,
I mean, yeah. I mean, the gold's a nice courtesy, but I mean, anything more, it's hard living out here. So
Any weapons?
sure,
I'll
if you've
hold
got
up
anything
the
spare.
scimitar. If I could-
He like eyes it up, like, yeah, that'd be great. He like looks at his kind of rusted hatchet that he's been using, like takes the scimitar and it's well made. Where I can't remember where you got
The
this.
chasm.
That was it. It was one of the chasms. So yeah, it's a finely made blade. It's a little rusted, but it looks like he's like, yeah, with a whetstone, this will clean up nice. Thank you.
No, thank you for
Just
helping
takes
us.
it. Doesn't really ask.
we were expecting much worse when we came up here.
Well, you're lucky. There's a lot of bad stuff here in the Ironweald. Spirits, beasts, all
Spirits?
sorts. Yeah. There's rumors, tales, shades that wander around. I've seen them a couple of times.
Is there anywhere we should avoid?
Yeah, a bunch of places. There's a hollow where a lot of spiders have been residing. Don't go near that. I mean, it's, to be honest, if I take you to the grove, you should encounter it past there. I mean, the problem is everything moves around here. You could, I don't know what you might encounter next.
Everywhere's dangerous. Let's go with that.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. No, it's nice. A lot of people don't trust beast walkers, so I'm glad that you, well, you didn't attack us on sight. We have a lot of problems with humans.
Are there more of your kind in this place?
In the Ironweald, probably. I don't know them. We keep ourselves to ourselves. Our clan was driven away a long time ago. A lot of our people killed.
Sorry to hear it.
It's the way of things down here. All right. Strings off his longbow. He's like, keep close to me. Try and stay as quiet as you can. Come.
Quiet. Quiet as possible.
I'll do my best.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he will lead you. He leads you to a small grove where you can rest for the evening, and he offers to keep a lookout for you.
Excellent.
What a nice beast walker.
Is that real mossy floor?
Yeah, it's very
Like a
spongy.
double mattress.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Essentially.
No, there are fallen logs covered in moss. It's very peaceful.
The top of my coat.
Pretty cold. It's very cold, in fact. If you don't have blankets or bedrolls and things like that,
No, we
struggle
do not.
struggle to sleep. Arvel has like an old tattered blanket that he got, like wraps himself up in that.
Remind me to pack winter clothing next time.
He shrugs and just gives you the blanket.
Arvel, I can't take that. It's tiny.
Well, it's either that or nothing, boy.
Look, let's just huddle together for warmth. It says in my survival book at number 4.
All right.
I imagine Quill will be quite warm.
I am very feathery. She has a big heat ray on her arm, though.
What?
She could just, I don't know, we could all snuggle up to her
How
arm.
about we start a small campfire with it? Rather
You
than-
hear a voice from the outside like, don't do that.
No? Is it too dry?
You'll attract attention. You start a fire now, you'll bring in all sorts of insects and creatures looking for the warmth. Best you do what the Aegonassi said. Get close together, huddle up as best you can, share whatever blankets or cloaks you have.
did
Well, I
bathe
have-
earlier, so.
I have one extra blanket in the form of a wing.
Excellent. All right.
I got my
Arvel
scar.
just kind of sits aside. Arvel actually seems pretty tough and doesn't seem bothered by the cold.
I will huddle.
Okay. So you
Huddle.
snuggle next to Quill. Nova, did you get in on this?
Yeah. I got
Essentially, you're like meh.
Sat next to Arvel.
Yeah.
I got my big ass scarf as
Okay.
well that I'll kind of try and use.
So you guys get a long rest, and you don't need to make any checks to keep on guard because you encountered a friendly
Nice
face.
person.
Yay. Long rest.
Damn.
The next day, the second question I pose: what kind of pace are you going to take?
Super fast.
Okay.
And probably the same arrangement as
Format.
before.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So Quill, survival check, please. I forgot about the penalty last time.
Penalty?
Yeah, because you were moving at a fast pace. I forgot to give you the penalty.
Oh.
That's fine.
So do I have a penalty?
Just tell me what you roll. and I'll remember
survival.
to add it this time.
24.
24. Lucius, perception check.
22.
Sentry, athletics or nature.
Athletics. 7.
Okay. And then Arvel. Arvel seems a bit more with it this time, and is actually keeping a closer eye on things. However, Sentry. Huh?
Do you not want me to help anyone?
Oh, you didn't say you were helping anyone, so I just went around that.
Ask me nice.
Over.
I didn't ask you last time. These guys said, "Could you help somebody?" And I was like, "Yeah, you could do that." This time, again, you managed to keep on track, focused on your task, even with moving at a fast pace. You're pretty sure that you're going to be able to catch on these guys pretty quickly,
Nice.
but you are making a lot of noise.
Not nice.
You're keeping a close eye out for dangers, and again, even moving at a fast pace, you're keeping a fairly good awareness. Arvel seems to be ready. Sentry, however, struggles this time. The terrain here gets a lot more hilly, a lot more dangerous. Quite often you have to do things like form basic, like clear out dense undergrowth, or like, the terrain becomes so rocky that you're kind of having to help everybody over it, and it becomes quite tiring. Just something to keep in mind for when things start off.
When things
Eventually,
start
you, Lucius, you
foreboding.
see up ahead that you kind of notice something, a figure looming in the shadows of the trees. You don't see 3 more, but you see a 7-foot grey-skinned being, and you just catch a glimpse of him as he's kind of hiding sort of amongst the trees, watching the way that you're coming.
My high elven faint heart leaps into my throat.
Okay.
Stop!
Stop.
Yep.
Okay.
Pretend like nothing's happening, but I see him.
Well, we have to go this way then. And I'm pointing like a complete opposite direction.
Okay, so you want to head in a different
We're never
direction.
going
We're
to
not heading
find-
off in a different direction. I'm like, we're acting like he hasn't seen them.
We're never going to find them.
But don't we? What? Nova's just really confused.
Pretending. I see him.
Oh. Ha ha ha! Yes.
Then let's go that
yes.
way. Quill?
Down to the left.
Yes.
This way.
You lead the way.
Ha ha ha.
Ha ha
You send Echo up and
Deception checks for you and Lucius.
ha. Does my performance help it?
14.
18.
Okay.
So, like, I guess we're now. So, if we were walking,
you start
as
walking,
if we were
stop,
walking north,
and then you're like
We turn
this
90
way,
yeah,
and
90
you start
degrees to the left.
angling off to the side.
I guess with the
I send-
intention of cycling.
And then you're
around
going to
it.
send. Do you want him to go quietly, and
Yes.
stealthily, and then are you using his senses?
Yes.
Okay, so you need to stop. Or like you kind of shut your hearing and eyes off. Give me a stealth check for Echo.
Check. Ba, 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 da, ba. Okie dokie. 16.
Okay. You send Echo, and he kind of dodges and weaves through the trees, and you can see where Lucius pointed. You don't see the figure, but you do see a small clearing, the stubbed out remnants of a campfire.
Remnants.
Yeah, remnants of a campfire, and that's pretty much it. Maybe like a few little loose tracks.
Okie dokie. I'll send
One-
it back. Oh, okay.
1 second.
He's gonna make one last roll, and then he's gonna end it on a cliffhanger.
There's no cliffs here.
Deception check.
All week.
9.
Nice.
Can you tell me what Echo's AC is, please?
Oh dear.
What do you mean? 12.
What's Echo's HP?
What is Echo's HP?
Just 1.
So, as you're focusing through his eye, this one eye, you watch as he glooms around, losing track of this figure. Echo stops and glances at the last second as this grey-skinned, tattooed face, red veins crawling up from underneath a loose tunic kind of built into the skin.
Oh no.
Grimace
No,
as
no.
a spiked blade.
No.
And you hear it shatter. You take, I believe, a bunch of psychic damage. You take 4 psychic damage, Sentry, as this connection between you and Echo is lost.
No.
And then it just goes black as you suddenly come to. That's where we're going to end today's episode.
Cliffhanger.
Because we've got 5 minutes left.
No. No.
Shit.
I spotted it.
My little branch baby.
So yeah, we're going to stop there. Stephen, if you can drop any donations.
3 major deaths.
We don't know yet. Well, but, yeah.
Well, yeah, because it's killed Echo.
Yeah, you literally, so the last thing you see before we end the episode, you guys all see Sentry go and like stutter backwards, like suddenly jolted out of this thing from her.
Shit.
Steve, do we have any donations to read?
No.
No? It's playing
Oh,
out.
it's playing up.
You killed Yusuf and Corin, and that's it.
Shit. All right.
Try using the iPad.
Try using the
Try
iPad.
using
Thanks.
the iPad.
Thanks, Trot. But yeah, that's today's episode. Kim, tell us the solution to the brilliant puzzle to take away from this
Oh, shit.
great episode.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
still a moment where I have to...
Sorry, mate. I'm sorry.
My branchy
So-
baby.
The question was, who is a dwarf and who is a Durgar? And the correct answer is Bjorn Bloodaxe is a dwarf and Rhys Threeson is a Durgar. If Rhys were telling the truth, then Born and Rhys are both
Round through it, 'cause we got 5.
dwarfs, which means Bjorn is telling the truth as well. But then Rhys would be a Durgar, according to Bjorn, who is telling the truth, contradicting the earlier assumption. Thus, Rhys is a Durgar, meaning Bjorn is telling the truth and is thus a dwarf. And if you look at the links in the description below, if you're on YouTube, you'll be able to look at this puzzle in more detail.
And that's the
Hey.
Knights and Knaves over on Brilliant. Check it out. I'm going to rattle through these because we've only got 5 minutes. Dabbities, thank you very much. I might not even be able to read out the messages because I don't think we've got time, so I'm just going to do names and thank yous.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll try and summarize. Dabbities, thank you very much for the donation. Can only watch the first hour at the moment. Still here to donate in VOD Squad. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Olarenve, thank you very much for the donation. No message. Quarter hundo from Elon Bear, thank you very much. Love the streams, keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All the love to Katie, she'll appreciate that. Dragstar, thank you very much for the $20 donation. Last time watching live for some time. Freelance contract until December. Show my love via merch. Keep my chicken nugget addiction going. Thank you very much. We'll be doing any cons soon, by the way. Keep a close eye on our Twitter where we'll properly announce stuff. We are working on something,
Yes.
but we can't confirm it until it's confirmed. The Schnurp donated. Hey Rolls, first time ever caught you guys live. Thank you very much. All the new characters you made. My Lightfall dice guide you well. Absolutely. Nightjar, thank you very much, as always. Nodalix, loving that we get 2 days of awesomeness for high rollers. Also, why not call the Aerois party the Crash Quest Dummies?
That's really good.
Nice.
Anja, thank you very much, donating to the charity Repair the Walls and Learn to Read. Daft Day 41, well, that went from role-playing lunch to 100 pretty fucking quick.
was.
Should this be a
Yeah.
lesson? Don't dilly around or your NPC friends will cease to exist. That's not the reason that they died. Money Becky,
bad,
thank you
bad
very
person.
much. I can't watch live anymore because apparently I work Sundays, but you can still have my monies and I'll join the VOD squad.
Thank you.
Enjoy. Thank you very much. Metamanu.
the pod
Damn,
squad.
I wasn't prepared for a double murder. It was so unexpected. Love your storytelling, Mark. Guys, please save Valor. Thank you very much. Severaka, thank you for the donation. Afraid I'm missing today's stream, so I'm just squeezing in my weekly donation. Thank you very much. Dragstar, donated again. Damn it, Mark, why did you have to get all Game of Thrones? We're having such a lovely time.
Every rose
Maris,
has its thorns. That's
Thank you
why.
very much. Nightjar. I was going to make a joke about Murderer being a fast-leveled rogue cow out for revenge, but now I'm too sad. Welcome to the Heartbreak, Rhiannon.
yeah.
Also, when Horse Adventure one-shot when? That'd be pretty funny,
That would
actually.
be
Yeah.
funny.
Ace of Thorns, DM Hug, never forgotten, never appreciated, always look after yourself, thanks very much. Stonehenge Ray, Daddy Bets, this week Lucian said Daddy a total of 4 times, and out of the 30 people in the chat that took part, Mighty Boot, Icarus94, and Snarky Sparks guessed correctly. Another great
Congrats.
episode, thanks very much. Dancing on Fire donated, thank you very much. Azul Aura donated, a little late because I was ill for a bit of the stream, but loved this week. I've been starting D&D with my first character, but I've volunteered as a party's artist, so I feel I'm going to be drawing a different bunch of species very soon. Thank you very much.
Thank
That's
you.
the last one. Want to wrap
you.
through those because we've got to hand it over to Kath for his ASMR stream. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you next time. We'll be back next week. We'll be back
And
on Monday
tomorrow.
for Rogue's Gambit.
Tomorrow.
Check that out.
Monday,
Twitch.tv/DND.
6 o'clock.
Or here on
How will this all go down next Sunday? Let's find out.
Wow, that's a slow fade.
Bye.
Wow, that's a slow fade.
Bye.